trip for the Aztecs.
And it's going to be Duggar who's in for the touchdown on the zone read.
And the Padres loving the thin air in Colorado.
In the air to left field. Tagged pretty well. Beck looks up, and that's gone too. Laureano gets his 23rd home run of the year.
A full weekend, and we break it all down from the San Diego Sports 760 studios with John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of John and Jim. We have a really good show lined up for you today. Kevin Acey, the Padres insider that Jim just touched on. Our Padres insider, he reported Michael King will return tomorrow. Kevin will join us live at 5 p.m. My friend, he's a friend of the show, John Sadak, will join us. We worked for years together in the minor leagues. He's now the TV voice of the Reds, and I work with Jim. So John will join us at 2:30.
Whoa, what was that supposed to mean?
And Brian Dutcher, head coach of the Aztecs, their full schedule is out, and he will join us coming up at 3:30. Obviously, we're going to start with what the Colts did to the Dolphins yesterday. I mean, you basically have to start there. I mean, when Daniel Jones plays like that.
Well,
wow.
I was going to start with they might need to make a quarterback change already in New York with the Giants. I mean, Jackson Dart, he needs to be probably the starter here very soon because Russell Wilson, it's going to be a bad time for the Giants if they don't go with Jackson Dart.
Well, I was going to start with Tent McMillan, who had 5 catches for 68 yards yesterday.
Good rookie debut. What about Cam Ward? Cam Ward's rookie debut, not as good against the Denver Broncos in that defense.
But speaking of the Broncos, RJ Harvey goes for 70 yards on the ground.
I like that.
All right, let's start with the Padres. I don't even want to deal with it. We'll get into the NFL. There's plenty of time. Padres finally find momentum, right? They had just been losing series after series, yet here they are. Deja vu all over again, 1 game back. Here they are. They win 2 games in Colorado. They win the series. Was it perfect? No. But they bust out the bats on Saturday and Sunday. They combined for 31 hits. They're 1 out with 19 to play. And then you add on what Kevin reported earlier today, which is Michael King is expected to return tomorrow. So are they right where they need to be? 19 games to play, needing to overcome a game plus the tiebreaker against the Dodgers. So essentially needing to overcome 2 games. But the Dodgers have not played well. Padres haven't played perfectly either. Are the Padres right where they need to be? Reds and Rockies at home. 7-game homestand begins tonight. Michael King tomorrow. Is this doable, or is it the same old Lucy pulling the football away for like the 10th time this year?
We'll find out.
Right?
We'll find out because the last 4 times this team has gotten right there or overtaken the Dodgers, they immediately fall on their face.
It's legit 4 times, right? Like in the last 2 months, they've been 1 back or 1 up and then fallen back all 4 of those times, I think.
Going to Dodger Stadium, getting swept there.
Losing here on a Sunday with a 2-1 lead behind Nick Pivetta.
Right.
There were other instances where they pulled to within 1 and fell 2 back.
Right.
A couple of times.
Anyway, I said it before. I'll say it again. I'm going to have to see it to believe it. I'm going to have to see this team actually overtake the Dodgers in the division and stay there to actually believe that they can do it. They're right there. They have a great shot to do it. But like we've seen with this team too many times, they get right to that point of making you believe and thinking that they can actually do it, and then they stumble. Now, the 2 wins over the weekend, they looked much better as a team. It is the Rockies, but still, you got to win those games. Yep. And they won those games pretty convincingly. I know Saturday night turned into kind of a Coors Field game, but you put 10 runs up, you gotta win that game, and they did. Even though Estrada gave up 4, and then Suarez gave up a homer in the 9th, but they won the game. And then yesterday, put up 8 runs. They had 4 home runs total? I think it was
4 yesterday.
4 home runs total. Merrill, Machado, Laureano, Sheets. Fermin had a couple doubles. Yeah,
they've hit 4 home runs in a game now 3 times in the last month.
They have, they have. So they are right where you want them to be. Now it's just a matter of, hey, can you go out there and can you take advantage of the 7-game homestand here? 4 against Colorado. Can you take advantage of that? And the Dodgers, they play Colorado tonight in LA. They've been playing some awful baseball. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, the schedule is going to help, because right now, clearly the schedule hasn't shown that it's going to help either team. We'll see what happens. I just can't go to that point of like, absolutely they're going to overtake the Dodgers, because I want to be cautious right now. But with that saying they are right where you want them to be.
Here's the advantage. They're 13 of the last 19 are at home. And you're right. You can't just say, well, they're playing the Twins and the Orioles, because they played the Twins and the Orioles and didn't play well. So you can't solely say that they're playing the Rockies. But you've got 13 of 19 at home. And if there's one thing we've seen from the Padres this year, they have been an excellent home team. No matter how you slice it, whatever. 43-25. And they're fully capable with the move since the deadline. Hopefully with Michael King returning, he could make 4 starts from here until the end of the regular season. We'll see how built up he is when he throws Tuesday. They're capable of playing well at home. We've seen that. Then just 6 remaining road games. So it is there for the taking. I don't think you have to go play the best baseball of your year. They went 14-3 twice this year. I don't think it takes that to close, because I don't think the Dodgers have proven that they're capable of playing that type of baseball. So this homestand, Reds, Rockies, and this homestand could be Giants, Dodgers, whatever it is. With 19 to play, when you have 7 games at home, I'm looking at the 5-2 prerequisite. However you figure it out. If it's 2-1 against the Reds and 3-1 against the Rockies. But 5-2 or better for me puts you in a position where you put serious pressure on. You should be even or ahead if you can do that. So the prerequisite for me is go win 5 of the next 7 and see where you stand.
And the good thing is, maybe the last 2 nights in Colorado, getting the bats going a little bit, will propel them to play better baseball from here on out. Because Friday was a low point. Friday was an absolute low point. You got shut out at Coors Field, and Kyle Freeland just shoved it down your throat.
Yeah, that's a low point.
To the tune of, that's his best start of his career, and he made you look silly.
He was ejected in his prior start 2 days earlier.
And he goes 8 and strikes out 10. Like, what? Right. Luckily, after that low point, they bounced back in a pretty big way the next 2 days, scoring 10 runs on Saturday and 8 runs on Sunday. Now, they are the Rockies, so it's like, I expect you to do it, but you got to go out and do it. And Friday night, you're like, what the hell? And they're facing the Rockies. So hopefully the good play and the offense, kind of breaking out here the last 2 days, hopefully that will propel them to have a really good homestand. Because I think they have to have I think they have to have a 5-2 at worst homestand, as you said. They can't afford to go any worse than that. I mean,
feel good about the division.
I mean, you could, because the Dodgers stink right now.
But you can't bank on that.
You can't just keep banking on the Dodgers sucking.
I mean, okay, to your point, I'm with you. Maybe they found something in Colorado, but here's the issue. Petco isn't Coors, and the pitching you're going to face is not the Rockies staff. And you're right, Kyle Freeland was excellent on Friday, but Nick Lodolo today is a tough lefty. Tomorrow, Zach Littell is a good righty, and then the lefty Andrew Abbott has a 2.8 this year for the Reds. So, I don't go into the series saying I need to see what I've seen from the offense the last 2 days, the 31 combined hits, the 18 combined runs. What I need to see is more of the formula. Starting pitching goes 5+. You win a game 4-3 or something like that. I'm fine with them winning in any manner in which they win. If it's 10-8, awesome. If it's 4-3, awesome. If it's 2-1, awesome. But more of the, hey, starting pitching the last 3 days has been good in Colorado. More of that, not falling behind 3-1 after 2 innings or 2-0 after 1 inning by Darvish. And then we'll see King tomorrow, and then we'll see Pivetta. I want to see them get the 5 or 6 innings from the starters and then get enough offense and find ways to win the way they win at home this year.
That's the key to everything.
That's all Schill talks about, dude. It's all he wants to talk about.
Among other things. But
I mean, he talks a lot about it.
But even if Schill didn't talk about it, we'd be talking about it. Starting pitching, that's like the key to this whole process. Is you got to get consistent starting pitching, 5-6 innings. Tonight, Darvish, we'll see what he does. He has been up and down, side, left and right, 100%. Sideways since he returned this year. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. He could go 7 innings and throw 74 pitches, or he could go 4 1/3 and throw 82 pitches. You just don't know.
Yep.
So, start the homestand off right tonight with a good outing from Darvish. And it will be difficult against the Reds pitching the next couple nights, because you're facing 2 lefties in there, and this team against lefties, their lineup, just they don't know what to do with their lineup when they have a lefty on the mound, or when they're facing a lefty on the mound.
Yeah, you're 100% right. We can get into the lineup now and moving forward. But the idea that against right-handed pitching, they did something that they hadn't done yesterday, which was move over Jake Cronenworth to short to max. Even though Mike Schultz just a couple of days ago said he wouldn't do that because he values defense over offense, which to me is completely counterintuitive.
Right.
But he said he wouldn't do it. And then obviously someone got to him because he did do it. But against left-handed pitching, you run into some of the issues that they've experienced this year. They have a lot of lefties in their lineup. They have guys that have not hit left-handed pitching well. And yes, it's true you face more righties than lefties on average. But what happens when you run into a series like this? I mean, you could play a 3-game series where you face 2 left-handed starters in the postseason. The Reds are going to throw 2 lefties here in this 3-game set.
Yeah.
So you still have to find ways. I'm sorry, that's not the excuse. If they go out facing 2 left-handed starters, I'm not going to say like, you know what? They would have beaten right-handed starters, but they ran into lefties. So they're going to have to figure this out against left-handed starters.
They are. And the lineup tonight, you're going to have Jose Iglesias in there probably.
Yep.
So that's a downgrade in your lineup for sure. And we'll see who goes to the bench because you're going to have someone go to the bench, right?
100%.
And Sheets has been playing well. You don't want to put him on the bench.
Put Arise on the bench. He doesn't hit lefties. I mean, it's that time of year.
Well, maybe Mike Schilt, if he's going to change his ways now with 19 games remaining.
But didn't he send him against a lefty the last time they faced a lefty?
He sat him against the lefty on Friday night.
I mean, he's got 19 games until he's a free agent. You got to do what's best for the team.
We'll see.
I agree. We'll see. You're right. He may start him. And I'm just saying, like, hey, it's kind of the team time, isn't it? It's middle of September.
Yeah. But Luis Arise, I mean, he is playing better of late.
Yeah, I mean, I had 3 hits yesterday, but again, against right-handed pitching at Colorado isn't Nick Lodolo.
I know. I get it.
That's the thing.
I get it. I'm curious to see because everything that Mike Schultz been saying about his philosophies and the lineups, and every time he gets like aggravated and agitated and angry about someone asking him a like perfectly legit question that's not even that hard to answer, he just would not give in, but now all of a sudden he is. It's an interesting thing to observe. Like, you made all that fuss and got mad for no reason.
Because you eventually like succumb to the pressure, or did the organization say this is the lineup that you're going to use?
I don't know. I can't wait to ask Kevin that later today of like, who was the deciding factor in the 2 lineup changes? We talked a little bit about it on Friday with Kevin, but he wasn't in Colorado. He was actually sick. So he wasn't there like talk to Schilt about it. But still, Friday and Sunday are 2 things that you haven't seen Schilt do all year. And every time
Friday,
taking Luis Arise out of the lineup against a lefty.
Yeah.
And then yesterday playing Jake Cronenworth at shortstop.
Yep.
So I'm curious if someone at organization finally got to Mike Schilt, which I kind of think is the case, or Mike Schilt was just as stubborn as ever when talking to the media, but really behind closed doors, he was thinking about doing this the whole time.
No, the former. I think someone got to him. I don't think he speaks that strongly about something only to change his tune.
I agree.
A day or 2 later. So is it a sign of things to come or not with the lineup? We'll discuss on the other side. Then John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds. They're still hanging around for potential playoff berth. They've not played great baseball here recently. They will throw 3 good starters at the Padres the next 3 days. So John Sadak will join us at 2:30. Brian Dutcher, Aztec schedules out for next season. He'll join us at 3:30. Kevin Acee will join us live at 5 p.m. So don't go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, download the all-new iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760 and John and Jim. You can listen to the show live. You can listen back to any hour or interview, like our conversation with John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds, coming up in 10 minutes, or Brian Dutcher at 3:30, or Kevin AC at 5 p.m. So make sure to download that all-new iHeartRadio app. We haven't yet seen a Padres lineup, to the best of my knowledge. We will, presumably, at some point. I mean, they will have a lineup tonight against the Reds. But
wait, what?
To your, they will. They'll have a lineup. Trust me. I've talked to some people that are down there.
Do you have a source for that?
I do. It's Darn A Trip. So I do have sources. But here's the thing. To your point, the lineup Friday was the first indicator that they're content to sit Luis Ariz.
Yeah.
This everyday guy, even if his numbers aren't good against left-handed pitchers, they were content to sit him for a first time. And then Sunday, they got uber creative. Jay Cronenworth had not played short since 2022. They'd been prepared to use him at short here recently, but they use him at short for the first time, or he starts at short for the first time since 2022, makes a good defensive play. But the idea that you lead with your defense as opposed to leading with your offense, to me, is counterintuitive. Now, it's the Mike Schilt way, and it's worked to a large extent, obviously, in St. Louis and San Diego, but we're all screaming from like the top of the church steeple, like you need to find ways to generate more offense, and they have here in the second half of the season. And a big reason why is because they've had their better lineups out there. You're not going to score more runs with Gavin Sheets on the bench or Ryan O'Hearn on the bench. So
now they did get shut out on Friday night.
They did get shut out again. They did get shut out Friday, but they scored 18 runs in the series.
They did,
and they had 31 hits the last 2 days, and their offense is vastly improved since the trade deadline. And if I looked at the numbers, they got to be up a run per game.
They have to, and I think a lot of that has to do with the new additions.
Yeah,
because Ramon Laureano has been incredible for this team. Gavin Sheets being put in the everyday lineup, and I think that's a byproduct of like, hey, we need you in there because Xander Bogaerts went down. So is he playing almost every day if Xander Bogaerts is still healthy?
Yeah, I don't know. Because there was a period of time he wasn't playing right after the deadline.
Maybe he would be, and that would mean Ryan O'Hearn would be more of a bench guy, and then we'd be screaming at that if Luis Ariz is in the lineup every day, which he is.
Right.
Why do you think the lineups changed on Friday and Sunday?
Because I think they realized that we're at the point in the year where what they've done to this point, or what they were showing us recently, is nowhere near good enough to win in the postseason.
Do you give Schilt credit for doing that?
I mean, I don't know the inner workings of their organization, so it's hard for me to say whether he was told to write it in or if he actually wrote it in. He ultimately, at the end of the day, can't say, "Hey, AJ, it's my call." I mean, he could, but that's not how it's going to work. It's Mike Schilt. He loves AJ Preller. So if the organization comes to Mike Schilt and is like, "Yo, you need to sit Ariz against lefties, and you need to move Cronenworth to short against righties," I think he's going to say yes to that, based on everything we know publicly. So I don't know how much credit he gets, but I mean, ultimately he's the manager. He can get some. But why would he have said 3 days ago, "I lead with defense," and then lead with offense 3 days later?
Right. That's where the confusing part comes from. Is if he's preaching that all year long, he gets upset and he gets very thin-skinned every time someone asks him about roster construction in a lineup.
Yep.
And then he immediately goes around and changes the lineup.
An about face.
Like, what?
Right.
So then why were you getting so upset and defensive off of all these questions? Like, they're silly questions. Stop.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
But if whoever got to him in that organization, or if Mike Schilt had a moment of clarity finally.
An epiphany.
Just like, like the light bulb above the head. Right? Whatever happened, as long as it's happening, that's the good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And going forward, until Xander Bogaerts returns, if he returns, we don't even know if he's going to return by the end of the regular season or not.
Mm-hmm.
Versa righty, especially versa righty. The lineup that we saw yesterday has to be the lineup going forward. Against lefties, I can't. There's no great left-handed lineup with this team against a lefty.
They have so many lefties.
They have a ton of lefties. So when you face a lefty on the mound, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right.
So I'll let whatever you want to throw out tonight. I'm not gonna complain about it or be like, why did you do this? Why did you do that? But against a righty, going forward, starting tomorrow night, guess what? The lineup better be what the lineup was yesterday.
Yeah, like even going back to Saturday, like where Schultz like, well, we need to win with, we need to win with pitching and defense. I'm like, well, or you could score 10 runs and win 10-8.
That's it.
Because yeah, they built a large lead, but they held on for dear life. And that's because of their offense. I mean, you can't just go sit on a 4-2 lead every single game. We've talked about this. No more Jason Adam. I mean, these relievers have been very hittable. Jeremiah Estrada, he's got 6.6 ERA since August 1st. Robert Suarez allowed a home run the other day. And the tying run was at the plate later in the inning. So, like, these relievers have not been as dominant as we thought they would be. And now you're not at full strength in your bullpen. That's why I'm leading with offense. I'm not just going to sit there and be like, we lead 3-2 in the postseason. These 4 guys go close every single game the next 4 innings. Good luck with that formula.
By the way, I did find it interesting. And it could have been just like a one-off comment. I found it a little interesting that as Jake Cronenworth is making arguably the best defensive play a shortstop has made on the Padres all year long yesterday afternoon, diving to his right, throwing a cross body from his knees, a strike over the first base. You caught this, right? It was Dawn.
Yeah.
He mentioned, I don't know the exact wordage of it, but it was along the lines of, hey, Jake Cronenworth is showing that he can play shortstop.
And maybe he should be a shortstop.
Maybe he should be out there. Yeah, he maybe should be out there at shortstop. I'm like,
I love how
that's interesting.
He's offering his 2 cents.
Yeah,
play by play.
Because if this was a month ago and Xander's out, there's no way in hell they're putting Jake Cronenworth at shortstop.
0 chance. All right, let's talk to John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds on the other side. Critical series for both of these teams, truthfully, both Cincinnati and San Diego. John Sadak on the other side. Brian Dutcher at 3:30. The Aztecs basketball schedule for the upcoming season is out. Kevin Acey will join us at 5 p.m. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Hamul Casino. Padres start a 3-game series with the Cincinnati Reds tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Padres are just 1 game back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Good news for the Padres. Michael King, he is set to make his return tomorrow night from the IL. And tonight wraps up week 1 of the NFL season. Monday Night Football, Vikings and Bears in Chicago kicks off at 5:20 p.m. Hey player, the all-new Hamul Casino Resort is all for you. Enjoy a super luxe hotel experience, a super secret speakeasy, an indulgent spa, and an epic rooftop pool. Book your experience at hamulcasino.com.
All right, great to connect with John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds, who have kind of hung around here in the National League. They're a game over 500. They beat the Mets in back-to-back games to pull to within 4 games of a playoff spot with 19 to play. So, John, as always, we appreciate you taking time for us with the Reds and Padres getting together. What's the feeling here with the team? I mean, obviously on the outside looking in with 19 to play, but is there signs of hope based on what they did the last 2 days against the Mets?
Yes, I very much think so, and appreciate you having me. I think the biggest things are some of their regulars have found roles, either have refound themselves or have been adding in a different way. TJ Friedl got a day off near the tail end of last road trip in LA against the Dodgers and has had a big bump. He's now been on base in 17 straight. He's working a lot of walks in that time. It's a great feel for the zone. And the second position in the order has not been very productive for the Reds on the year. They had 2 main men, both Matt McLean and Santiago Espinal, there for stretches of time at the start of the year. But Noelvi Marte, who they moved from third base to right field in the last month plus, is a different hitter playing right field. And more recently, that's also meant a shift into the second position that provides protection for Elly De La Cruz, that is able to capitalize upon Friedl being on base. He's hitting .315 in his last 26 games, driving in runs, showing pop. Offense has been the inconsistency of this club. The starting pitching has been the bedrock, but there are glimpses of offense, and the Mets series showed that.
Being 4 games back of a playoff spot, Reds have kind of been hanging around, not be able to, get over that hump of late, but still 4 games back, anything can happen in the final 2.5 weeks here, or 3 weeks, of the season. Where's the head at of the fan of the Reds as far as their chances to make a legitimate push here for a wild card spot? Or do you think do fans think it's too far out of reach?
I think it depends upon what fan you talk to. I assume that's the case with most fan bases, but the Reds have not had much in the way of postseason appearances, much less success. I mean, they haven't won a playoff series since the 90s. The Bengals have, yes, made a Super Bowl run, but went through years of being awful in the same town as well, or just falling short during a lot of the 2010 range. I think it's a mix. I think there are some who are kind of waiting for Lucy to pull the football, but there are some who really believe in this young core. And at some point, the team, the players have to prove it, right? It's something to win over the vast majority of those fans. They want it to happen. Do they think it will happen? The schedule is hard. I mean, if you're honestly looking at what the remaining slate is, they have the second hardest strength of schedule left on the slate in terms of win percentage of the opponents. But the good news about that is they have games head-to-head with some of the teams they're chasing. Just had one against the Mets, took the season series from them, so they would have the tiebreak if it came down to that. And they already took one series from San Diego. Now they get the Padres head-to-head.
John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds, with us right now on John and Jim. Game 1 at Petco coming up at 6:40. The starting pitching, the Reds are going to, have this series, whether it's Lodolo tonight, Littell tomorrow. Andrew Abbott's been obviously awesome on Wednesday. How is the starting pitching fared here late, specifically against these 3? Because I just look on paper and it looks like these 3 have given the Reds a lot of opportunities here.
I would generally say yes. Lodolo, when he's on, can be a real challenge. The breaking ball is excellent. His changeup has gone to another level. That's a commonality between him and Abbott, both lefties that have sensational changeups that rate among the best in baseball this year. And those are newer adds used to that level. in terms of frequency and that amount of success in terms of limiting contact and damage. Lodolo battled a blister issue, something that's plagued him multiple times in his career. He is a Southern California guy. He is still a little bit of an unknown to see exactly what's happening coming back from the blister. I think there's a lot of reason for optimism. I know he'll be excited to pitch in California again. Zach Littell has been very up and down. His split is his best pitch. When it's on, it is just about unhittable. And the way you know it's on is it dives straight down. I mean, it tunnels right into the earth. If it has more horizontal break or even worse hangs, then he can have a rough go. And we've seen extremes in recent starts for him where he's been roughed up for a couple of innings and then set down 14 in a row, where he's had a brilliant start through 3 or 4 innings, facing the minimum, and then home runs can come. He has led the league most of the year in home runs allowed, but the vast majority of those have been solo shots. His command is a critical part of that because he probably will allow homers. Will there be bases empty? Will there be men on base? And with Abbott, there has to be some wonder if he's hit a fatigue wall. He's had a deserved all-star year, the best year of his career. He has spent most of the season as the Reds' ace. But we've seen more hiccups in the last month where the command has not quite been as fine. And in particular, with his changeup, that I think next to his fastball, I would argue, is his next most important pitch that he has to be able to command. Doesn't necessarily need to throw it for a strike. He needs it to look like a strike and just drop out of the zone. And the command has not quite been as fine. And I think teams have been far more patient. The walk numbers have gone up and the ERA has climbed as well.
When you look at the Reds' road record, kind of similar to the Padres, where they play good baseball at home, but on the road, they aren't just they're a different team. What's it been like with the Reds this year? And recently, they had a 3-6 road trip, the last 9-game road trip that they had. What's it been recently with the Reds that they've struggled on the road? It seems.
Yeah, a lot of it has been run scoring. I mean, that's really what it's come down to, finding a consistent way to get runs. They lost 6 of 7 to close out that road trip. There have been some defensive letdowns. There have been particularly some errors late in games. Ellie De La Cruz has the most errors in baseball. He led the league last year. He's on pace to do that again. He made one in the 9th inning yesterday, but the Reds got a huge double play that he ignited, that he shoveled a tough ball to second base to kick off the 6-4-3 and end it and win the game and quell the threat. But that's been part of it. They've also had a hellacious time with the Padres on the road. They have lost 12 of 14 at Petco. And if you're looking at one team against one team, the most dominant run of any one team at home against another in the last 20 years is the Padres against the Reds.
Wow.
That's fascinating.
That is,
you mentioned Ellie. I'll give you an example here locally. I mean, there's been a lot of criticism of Fernando Tatis Jr. Now he's up to 20 home runs, but he sat on like 16 or 17 for forever. And his OPS has sat around 800. We've seen him be like a 900 plus guy. Now, Ellie hasn't necessarily been a 900 plus guy, but I'm looking at his numbers, John, since August 1st. You know it better than I do. I just pulled it up on Baseball Reference. He's at 213. He's got a 562 OPS. His OPS has fallen well below 700. What have you seen from him here in 2025 and specifically over the last month or so?
He hasn't homered since the last day of July. Wow. He's had one in his last just over 60 games. He's had 2 different leg injuries that I think have had a big impact. We've asked him about it. You know, he's acknowledged them, but has said that the more recent one, he had a hamstring early. He's been dealing with a quadriceps injury for some time, that it's been feeling better. And we have seen in spurts, we have seen doubles and triples. He had a bunch of triples on the last road trip, so he can run. And he is trying to steal in select spots. But I think he's multiple things. I think he's been caught in between. And what I mean by that is kind of anticipating what's coming, softer, hard, fastball, breaking stuff, change up, trying to protect a really big zone. I have to think fatigue is a factor. He's a very proud young man who wants desperately to play every single game. That's something he's vocalized from the moment he arrived in the big leagues. And I do think there's a cumulative effect to that. He's also 6'5 plus. He might be closer to 6'6. And to get ready at shortstop, you have to be squat and set on every single pitch. And I think that also takes its toll. You know, he's strong, but he's a wiry, strong young man. We did see an RBI double that gave the Reds the lead, the run that would prove the most decisive in the sixth inning yesterday. It was a good gap double that he got through the ball that drove. But I would also say that he probably gets pitched harder than anyone else on the team. Opposing pitchers know what he is capable of, and they are very careful with where they try to throw him and what they try to throw him. I would also say that his awareness of the strike zone enhanced significantly by some offseason work he's done with the former Padre Juan Soto has helped him a lot. He works a lot of deep counts, but I think it's a combination of all those things. I think the leg issue is bigger than we've been known so far. I also think that the pitching of the opponent is a big part of it. And I would add, I think, lineup protection, because he's been in that third spot all year. And the second spot, until Marte really grabbed ownership of it in just the last 3 weeks, has kind of been a void. And so it's been a lot easier, I think, for opponents to game plan and often bring in lefties, turn them around, make him bat right-handed in bigger late game situations.
John, what do you make of the NL West race here? I mean, Padres, Dodgers separated by a game. Did you think it was going to be this close, this deep into September?
Yes, and chiefly because I have a lot of respect for and know the ability of the Padres. The Dodgers have had their own significant amount of injuries as well, and people whose opinions I respect that also cover games in the National League West. You know, when they saw the Padres in the early stage of the year, I was told in April, look out, the Padres are the best team in the National League West. This is the year they take down the Dodgers. So I lean on people that see teams far more often than I do. You know, we're kind of swooping in for a single series here against the Padres. But people that see both clubs a lot, whose opinions I respect, told me months ago that, yes, that it could be exactly like this.
Well, it could come down to the final couple of days in the NL West. The two teams separated by one game. We'll see if the Reds can make a late season push here over the final 19 games of the regular season. John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds. John, appreciate you doing it, man. Enjoy San Diego. I know it's tough with the weather, but try to enjoy it.
Have a good time.
I love your town. I never want to leave, ever.
Stick around. Stick around.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, John. All right, John Sadak, again with the Reds. All right, we're going to switch gears. Let's get to college football Saturday night in Pullman with San Diego State. Sean Lewis spoke with the media earlier today. I was there. What he had to say about Saturday night, specifically the final 2 minutes of the first half that ultimately swing the game for the Cougars. Plus, we'll get into week one of the NFL coming up at 3 p.m. and Brian Dutcher will join us at 3:30. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Brian Dutcher coming up at 3:30. Kevin Acey will join us live at 5 p.m. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So I was in Pullman Saturday night. People were probably watching on television. I was at the San Diego State-Washington State game.
Oh, cool. What are we doing there?
Calling it. And it was a very late night afterwards. But this is a game where San Diego State scores first and then trails 10-7 with 1 minute and 16 seconds to play in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And the game hinged and turned right there.
Yep.
There was the safety, right?
Yep.
As Jaden Denigal dropped back in the end zone, and there was an edge rusher that was essentially unblocked that sacked him in the end zone for a safety. A moment later, after the kick, Washington State goes down and scores before the half. They get the ball out of the half, score again. 16 points, that middle 8, final 4, first 4. It was actually like a middle 4. They scored 16 points. Safety, touchdown, touchdown. Into the intermission, out of the intermission. It changed everything from 10-7 down to 26-7 down. The Aztecs lose the game 36-13 on Saturday night. So I want to hear from Sean Lewis. We'll get Jim's reaction coming up. This was Sean Lewis today. You're going to hear the question that was asked, I think by Kirk Kenny of the UT, about the decision that Sean made as the play caller late in the first half when Jaden Denigal dropped back to throw.
In hindsight, but that deep in that spot, you just trying to be aggressive and trying to get going.
76 seconds to go on the clock, right? There's a minute 16 to go. We're down 3. We have a kicker that has a range from outside of 55 yards. We're a huddle up-tempo team, right? Like, going to be default aggressive. We sit on it. What's the message that I'm telling my kids? Like, I don't believe in you. That's the message. Like, I believe in my guys. And I can say that, or I can live it, and I can do it. Can I manage it a little bit better? Sure. Absolutely. Can the kids play a little bit better? Yeah. But I think all of us in the foxhole together would rather us be default aggressive there, not reckless, but default aggressive so that we can go down, get points. It's 10-10. We know that we haven't played our best ball. We circle the wagons and we go and we respond. Now, again, like what happened? Worst case scenario, right? Like worst case scenario. Absolutely. Right. Like, so, hey, we give up the safety, then they don't go out on the ensuing kick, right? Like get points, come out second half, 16 points becomes a huge difference. So, yeah, we'll Monday morning quarterback. That's what everyone in the room gets paid to do, and we'll second guess it. But again, like talking to boys about it this morning, like going to be default aggressive. We'll manage it the right way, get us into a different protection. But, like, that's why I'm sitting in front of you guys. Right? Like, that's my style of play. That's why all the questions that have been about in the past, like, hey, high-flying offense is going to push the ball vertically down the field. That's going to be something that the fans haven't seen. Well, yeah, that takes time. But now we're asking, like, hey, should we be more conservative? No. So I am who I am. We've talked about that before, right? Now I'm going to be authentically me. And I know my guys got my back. So we got to put them in a better call. We'll execute better. Like at the end of the day, like guys, like there's a little bit of risk. Like we can't be risk averse in all that we do. Like no risk it, no biscuit.
All right. So here's the thing. That play that Kirk Kenny is specifically talking about was the safety and that drive that started at the 8-yard line. Yep. You go pass, incomplete, safety there. And you're wondering, like, why didn't you run the ball? Maybe you go into halftime down 10-7. I will say, and we both, me and you, John, we watched this play last night. Jacob Bostic, great kid, caught a touchdown in the game again.
Yeah, he's had him in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, he was on with us, called us Mr. Russell, Mr. Schaefer.
Oh, that's right.
Became an instant show favorite.
Yeah, no doubt.
But he dropped a pretty, and I'm not going to say pretty catchable, like a very catchable ball over the middle, which would have been about a 15 or so gain.
You're saying on first down.
On first down, Denigal dropped back, threw a dime over the middle. Like it was a layered throw over the defender. You got to catch the football. You got to catch that football. It was in his hands, both hands on the football. And honestly, it's coming from me. Like, I'll make the catch. It's easy catch. But look, that's what he's there to do, is to make those catches. You know, you're a receiver. You get two hands on the football. It's not the pros where it's like you get a fingertip on the football. You got to catch it. Right. But in college, look, that was a very catchable ball, and that would have changed the entire dynamic of maybe the entire game. So it's not being talked about, but that drop by Bostic was a massive drop that led to the safety, that led to the collapse. that led to just the whole thing snowballing on them. And I mean, it's kind of harsh to say to that one play caused all of that, like, hey, go out there, play better defense, be better on offense in the second half, like run the football more. But I mean, that one play potentially cost them 9 points right away there. We don't know what's going to happen in the second half, but yeah, I mean, maybe that play changes the dynamic of the game.
It is amazing how that can happen in sports. It can be one or two plays. And it's like when you allow a safety in that spot, it's like we'll never know what would have happened if it didn't happen. You know what I mean? It's not to say Washington State wouldn't have won. They easily could have won the game. They were at home. They certainly could have won the game, but it wouldn't have played out in the same manner. And being in the building, that exact moment when he gets sacked in the end zone with a minute to play,
you're like,
it changed everything. So, I mean, I guess the point now is how do you respond to that?
Because that was not a good performance.
Sean Lewis said today, he's like, listen, it was a bad night for, we're a good team. That was a bad night. That was not a good reflection of who we're going to be. But it was a bad performance from a good team. And now they have 2 weeks to sit on it. They don't play again until September 20th. Some of that was like, man, you don't want to sit necessarily for 2 weeks off a performance like that. And then you have Cal coming here. Cal's been very good. So this doesn't get easier. It reminds me a little bit of last year in the non-conference. Like, it's not easy. Like the Stony Brook layup you had, and there's no other game necessarily like that in the next couple of weeks. So how do you make sure that you completely clear that away, and don't allow that to impact you moving forward? Because it's hard to do something like that.
I thought the going away from Lucky Sutton was a mistake. Now, again,
when you start trailing,
when you trail by as many as you do, when you give up points on, 2 straight possessions or three straight possessions, actually, because the safety and then the touchdown in the half and then the touchdown to start the first half.
It's hard to
run. Second half, excuse me. It's hard to run the football. I get it. But I mean, the guy's going for 5, almost 6 yards a pop, and he only carried the ball 15 times. I think establishing the run and when things are kind of going haywire, going back to the run with Lucky Sutton, I thought should have happened, because I watched the whole freaking game, and there were a lot of times that Denegal just did not look right at all. So when you see your quarterback that's missing easy throws across the middle, and he's indecisive, and he's rolling out to his right on a 4th down, and he has clear space in front of him, and he throws the ball 10 yards in front of a receiver, and he's not making, like, you need to relieve some of that and go to something that's working, which was your run game. And they just didn't do it. I thought there was multiple questionable decisions by Sean Lewis. I thought the fact that they went for 2 after they scored that touchdown in the third quarter was really bad. 1, the play was awful. 2, the idea to go for it in the third didn't make any sense to me, because if you don't get it, you're still down by 3 scores. If you just go for the extra point, you're down by 2 scores.
There's 2 scores either way, because it was 16 or 15.
Thought it was 7.
29-13 off the miss.
29-13 off the miss.
So if you make it, it's 14. If you miss it, it's 16.
7,
that might be a gym math.
It is a gym
There's
math.
an analytical book that says in that spot.
Well, anyway,
right.
The play that was designed for the 2-point was awful.
Listen, having been there and called it, and this thing completely got away from them. This was not the expectation. I mean, the Vegas line was 1.5 points in this game. So this was not the expectation for this game. I will say this in watching this game with Jaden, and kind of to your point from earlier, like, he had a couple of drops on him. He had a couple of poor throws. That's going to happen. His first road start ever in a tough environment. Again, I don't think, and Rich obviously called this game with me, I don't think this is the best reflection of San Diego State. I really don't. I think they're fully capable of playing better than this. Now we got to see it. But I don't think this is ultimately who they're going to be. And it was, like I said, it was 10-7 with the ball, a minute 16 to play in the half. They trailed 10-7 with the football, a minute 16 to play in the half, and everything unraveled on the safety. And now the question is, can they pick up the pieces for 2 weeks from now when they take on Cal at Snapdragon Stadium? We're going to switch gears to week 1 of the NFL to wrap up tonight with Brent's Bears taking on the Vikings as Monday Night Football will put a bow on week 1. We'll get into everything that's transpired over the last 3 or 4 days. Then Brian Dutcher will join us coming up at 3:30. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, at 5 p.m. Hour 2, John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres start a 3-game series tonight against the Cincinnati Reds. They start a 7-game homestand at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch tonight. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Good news. Kevin Acee reporting earlier this morning that Michael King is set to make his return tomorrow night for the Padres. The Padres are just 1 game back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Dodgers start a 3-game series at home tonight against the Colorado Rockies. And tonight, Monday Night Football to end week 1, Vikings and Bears in Chicago. Kickoffs at 5:20. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
The first NFL Sunday.
Let's go! That's football!
Not lacking excitement.
Takes the contact and converts. Touchdown, Kyron Williams. Touchdown, LA.
A long road trip for the Aztecs.
And it's going to be Duggar who's in for the touchdown on his own read.
And the Padres loving the thin air in Colorado.
In the air to left field. Tagged pretty well. Beck looks up, and that's gone too. Laureano gets his 23rd home run of the year.
A full weekend, and we break it all down from the San Diego Sports 760 studios with John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of John and Jim. And coming up this hour, Brian Dutcher, Aztecs' 9th-year head coach, will join us at 3:30. He spoke with the media this afternoon. San Diego State's basketball schedule for the upcoming highly anticipated season with all this talent was released earlier today. So Dutch will join us at 3:30. Kevin Acey, our Padres insider, will join us at 5 p.m. But we spent an hour and we didn't really touch a ton on week 1 of the NFL. So let's do some biggest takeaways from week 1 to this point. Presented by Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. There were some unbelievable games last night, obviously capped off by that Buffalo-Baltimore game. We have still coming up Bears and Vikings tonight with J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams. But where do you start with week 1 to this point, Jim?
Yeah, I think you have to start with last night. That game was incredible. We talked on Thursday last week of like, hey, can the opener live up to the hype? Can the opener be a good game? I thought the opener of the season, Eagles and Cowboys, was actually a really good game. Now, it kind of just slowed down and died once we got to the lightning delay. But overall, I thought it was a good game. You had a lot of storylines there. You had some, back and forth, and it wasn't one-sided. It was a one-score game in the fourth quarter, and I thought it was a good game. But then last night just topped everyone's expectations. I think the biggest takeaway, and you feel like this is going to happen, is those two teams are going to meet in the AFC title game. And that game right there last night could have determined. I know it's only week 1, but it happened last year in week 1 when the Ravens lost to the Chiefs. And it determined the Ravens going on the road.
That's interesting, yeah.
Instead of staying at home. So I think that game, even though it's only week 1, I mean, we could be looking back at last night as, wow, that determined home field in the AFC title game.
I mean, the thing about last night, which is going to be remembered as an all-timer, especially for a week 1, the scoregami, never had there been a 41-40 game. I mean,
that's crazy.
You don't run into that every single day. You don't overcome 15-point deficits in final 4 minutes every single day. No team had ever done it in a week 1. No. But the thing that stuck out, and I was going to have it later in the hour for Is That Good, but I'm sorry, you can't do this. Like, this can't go this far without being mentioned. Josh Allen's fourth quarter, 269 passing yards and 3 touchdowns.
Is that good?
The most this century in a fourth quarter. Nobody had thrown for 250 yards in a fourth quarter. He throws for 269 and 3 touchdowns. Like, he's too good. Now, Lamar Jackson's great too. They're both too good not to get to Super Bowls. Like, at some point, if it's Allen or Jackson, there's no world where you have these 2 elite teams and neither of these guys are getting to a Super Bowl. At some point, they're breaking through. At some point.
Let me ask you this, though. So Josh Allen, we all know he's great. He's the reigning MVP of the league. He single-handedly brought the Bills back last night. The numbers you just read.
Ridiculous.
Are the Bills a good enough team if Josh Allen doesn't go Superman every game?
No, they're definitely not.
Okay.
And because I feel like in the NFL, it's all predicated on the Superman performances. Maybe less now with the Chiefs. Like the gaudy numbers for Mahomes, like those days are kind of done, dude.
Yeah, I know.
The gaudy number, they win close games.
Yeah.
Right now, they didn't on Friday, but they win close games. They find ways. They got brilliant coaching. They got a guy that's been there before. But I feel like for one of these teams to break through, it's like Lamar Jackson. Like, you either go crazy like you're a video game Lamar Jackson, or you're losing in the postseason. There's no average Lamar Jackson winning the postseason.
Because you look at the Ravens, they should have won that game last night.
100%.
But you look at some of their key players, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews didn't do anything last night, but he's still a guy that can catch 10 to 15 touchdowns in a season. Lamar, won MVPs, right? Yeah. Hamilton on defense. Like, they have some playmakers on that team, no doubt.
You're saying maybe they're more complete than Buffalo, who just relies so heavily on a guy going off every single big game.
James Cook is a very good running back.
Yeah, he is.
Coleman is a good wide receiver and is in his year 2 here. But as far as impact players, the Bills, other than Josh Allen, who do they have? Because that team was getting gashed. Now, the Ravens were as well in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, on the Bills side of things, this is kind of what they ran into last year. Is Josh Allen went up against the defense and the Chiefs in the AFC title game that slowed him down. And then what do the Bills have other than that? And how can they combat if Josh Allen has a poor game in the playoffs?
Well, part of me is like, okay, are we putting too much into one result? To your point, it could matter because these are two teams that are going to be there in the end and they're going to have good records. So part of me is like, well, we're putting too much into like week one. And then the other part of me is like, there's no world where the Bills and the Ravens aren't two of the best 3 teams in the AFC,
because
right?
their quarterbacks
exactly,
are just that good.
So like they're both going to be really good. Now one might be a game or two clear of the other, but yeah, like that's a massive week one result. Because both of those teams are going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think like outside of that in terms of like,
I got one. And this is sorry, Brent. Packers are legit. They are beyond legit. And,
based on week one, we can say that.
And the fact that Micah Parsons barely played in that game. Did you see the one play where he tracked down Jared Goff?
Yeah.
He looked like a lion.
Like a legit lion.
Like going after a gazelle.
Right. It was his only tackle.
Well, I mean, he had a huge impact in that game when he was out there. I think the more that he gets integrated into that team, the scarier they're going to look. That defense is already good. And you add Micah Parsons, who barely played and looked like that in the game. I mean, when he was in there, he was an impact player. And I think that the Packers are legit in the NFC.
I think the other question is Detroit screwed down without all those coordinators?
Well, they're not a good team outside of a dome. When you get to them on grass, they're a completely different team. And they have 6 games this year on grass.
That's interesting.
They had like a 4-game winning streak in Lambeau going into like yesterday.
In the last 2 years, they've won.
Yes,
last 2 years
they
won everywhere. When you look at their overall record. Now, here's where I would say don't make too much of week one, and maybe it sounds like a hater. I mean, the thing with the Chargers result against the Chiefs, I get it. They don't beat the Chiefs. I mean, you look at the recent history of the series, it's very rare for them to beat the Chiefs. Chiefs have been the best team in football for the last decade. But to me, a week one Friday Brazil, like I have to reserve a little bit of judgment. Justin Herbert was outstanding in this game. Mm-hmm. I'm sure a lot of people watched it on YouTube. I'm sure a lot of local people watched it, whether you like them or you hate them. I'm sure
a lot of
numbers
for that, by the way.
They just said, we heard the update before your update where they said over 7 million.
That was a 17.
17. I'm sorry. I heard it in the update. 17. It's a big number.
Wow.
I think it's a pretty big number. And YouTube is it's so easy. It's so good.
We get 17 million views all the time.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But like, are you willing to read anything into it? It's significant. I mean, they beat the Chiefs. It counts. But I don't think I can just say because the Chargers beat the Chiefs in week one, they're like a top 3 AFC team.
Justin Herbert I said this to you, I think it may be on the wrap-up show. When did I say this to you? The Madison Beer thing?
Oh, yeah. You said that's what made him an elite.
Oh, he's elite now. He has entered the elite quarterback status of the league. Madison Beer. He's dating Madison Beer.
Right.
If you don't know who that is, look her up. You're welcome. And he played phenomenal. He did. He was great. He kind of is like a Josh Allen type where it's like he can run. He's got a cannon of an arm. And if he can play up to that potential, who cares? It doesn't matter if Quentin Johnson's one of your wide receivers. He's going to make that guy look good.
Mm-hmm.
So if Justin Herbert is now going to just all of a sudden decide that he's going to enter the elite quarterback conversation in the league, the Chargers could be scary.
But you agree that it's early? Like, I'm willing to say it with Buffalo, because Buffalo for 4 straight years is
Mhm.
winning playoff games. Are we willing to say it with the Chargers
I'll say
because they beat a good team?
I'll say it with the Chargers because Justin Herbert looked phenomenal, and it's Jim Harbaugh. I can't doubt Jim Harbaugh. I'm sorry. If you're doubting Jim Harbaugh, you don't know Jim Harbaugh's career.
Won everywhere.
He has won everywhere.
Yep.
And it might take him a year, but a lot of times it doesn't even take him that long before he gets his team to a spot where they're competing for championships.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Now, last year dealt with some injuries, but still they changed a lot about their team and they were good. This year, we'll see, but that AFC West is, I mean, it is a gauntlet. Even the Raiders looked kind of decent.
Yeah,
now they played on the
end
road
zone.
against New England, but
Right.
still, it's a Pete Carroll led team. And I think when you look at the AFC West, I think it lived up as being potentially
One of the better divisions.
one of the better divisions in football.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
So
I think the most entertaining game yesterday, and it was one that when the schedule came out, we all kind of were like, yeah, whatever. No one's going to watch that. Who cares? Was the Jets and the Steelers. Aaron
crazy.
Rodgers going up to get Justin Fields
7 or
against the
8
whole
league
team.
changes
Yeah,
in it?
it was
Back
like
and
6 or
forth.
7 lead
Yeah.
changes in
It's
it.
a good
And,
game.
the Baltimore game was good, but it was more of one of those, did Baltimore blow it or did the Bills come back? This, that Jets game was just back and forth with all the lead changes. And, that was a really fun, entertaining game. And when the day started, I was like, oh crap, that's what game I'm stuck
Jets
with on
Steelers.
Paramount Plus. And then at the end of the day, I was really happy with it.
I will say tonight, I'm intrigued by the quarterback matchup. I mean, Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy. JJ didn't play last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been like everyone's been talking about JJ McCarthy for a year plus. Kevin O'Connell with JJ McCarthy. Caleb Williams, year 2, same draft class, head to head.
yeah,
I mean, to me, it's a very intriguing game. Vikings Bears tonight.
you scared, Brent?
No, actually, the fact that Detroit looked so bad yesterday is kind of making me feel optimistic.
What?
Well, because who was Detroit's offensive coordinator? He's
That's
our
right,
head
yeah,
coach
that's right,
now.
he is.
Ben Johnson.
So, and like I said, if Detroit would have went into Green Bay yesterday, like Ben Johnson never even mattered, I would be worried because I'd go, oh God, they didn't really need him. But they just looked awful on offense yesterday to where it's like, well, it looks like they really did need him. So I'm hoping that, the stuff he did in Detroit will just transfer over.
Are you going to give Caleb a chance, or what's your level of
I gave him a chance.
confidence with Caleb that he can actually adapt Ben Johnson's offense?
Ask me in 2 hours and 15
exactly.
minutes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, your week 1 wrap up presented by Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We'll get back to what ESPN has to say about the Padres and whether they can or cannot win a World Series. Plus, Brian Dutcher will join us at 3:30 and Kevin Acey at 5 p.m. This is John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is John and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We've been telling you, now open. Their hotel and spa at Jamul Casino Resort. It is the next level of luxury. You can treat yourself to a stunning new stay. They have rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Jamul Casino Resort now all in one unforgettable destination.
And now open as well as Jamul 23 with endless dining. Every day you can savor San Diego's ultimate endless dining experience at the all-new Jamul 23. From their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning to the VIP endless dining experience each evening, you can indulge in chef-curated specialties like seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
And sports fans are going to want to catch all the action at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. Experience the ultimate sports showdown. You can catch the Padres live, plus great food at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, where fandom meets fantastic at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, John and Jim, the iHeartRadio Music Festival back. Live performances by Bryan Adams, The Offspring, and more, September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile in Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets at AXS.com. And while the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. Get all the info at sportsst.com/festival. Brian Dutcher will join us in 12 minutes. Aztec schedule for the upcoming season is out. We've talked on it before, Michigan and Oregon in Vegas. They have Arizona in Phoenix on a neutral floor. Their league schedule is out. Grand Canyon, home and road. So upcoming season is going to be exciting for the Aztecs, and Brian Dutcher is going to join us in 10 or 11 minutes.
Yeah, there's a massive season as far as expectations go for this team. So yeah, I'm excited to talk to Dutch about the schedule of the upcoming year.
All right. So ESPN earlier today, real or not, on the 2025 contenders in baseball, real or not. What do you think they said about the Padres, real or not, as a contender? ESPN.com. Real or fake, if you will.
Oh, real.
And
what?
Okay, real or not. This is in bold. Real or not. Like the Brewers. Now they call out the Brewers. Like the Brewers, the Padres don't hit enough home runs to win it all. Verdict, real. And then they go on to say more.
Wait, hold on. So they did say
the verdict is real that, like the Brewers, they can't win it all. That's the verdict. They cannot win it all.
Okay.
Because they don't hit for power, which has been the number one knock on the San Diego Padres from afar. We've had to go back and be like, well, the Royals did it. Well, the Giants did it back in the day. But can you really win a World Series with the 29th home runs, 29 most home runs in the sport?
We're going to find out.
Right, exactly.
We're going to find out. Now, they have hit more homers of late.
Yep.
I'd be curious to get a number as like where they stack up since August 1st.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with that.
I think that's a better indicator of who they are now than who they are over the totality of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're looking at the entire season, yeah, over the course of the entire year, they're not even close to a top 12, 13, 14 offense in baseball.
Right.
But I would be curious to see, maybe this is a job for Kevin to do. It's like, hey, how many home runs have they hit since August 1st? And where do they stack up against the rest of baseball?
Where would you guess they would be since August 1st? Just like based on what we're watching.
Middle of the pack.
My guess would be slightly higher than middle of the pack, as in
like 15, 14, 13th in baseball, maybe.
I would say 12th.
What about 11th?
It could be.
Because they've had a lot of games where they hit 4 home runs, as you mentioned.
3 of them, I think, since August 1st.
Yeah, so there's
it got to
12
be. It got to be 12th, 13th in the sport. You say that they've been shut out too since August 1st.
Is there a way to like on the fly?
No, I don't know about on the fly.
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Ask ChatGPT.
All right. How many home
while
runs?
you do that, because I don't know if that's the best radio that's out
It's
there.
not, but we're going to do it anyway.
While you do that, I had a point to make. Oh, yeah. Here's what they say. Here's what ESPN says. If we're going to hammer the Brewers, it seems fair to knock the Padres as well, given that Milwaukee has scored a lot more runs than San Diego. Machado and Tatis are big names who have combined for just 43 homers. And dare we remind you what happened against the Dodgers in last year's NLDS when the Padres were shut out in the final 2 games. They go on to say the Padres offense is better than it was before the deadline, and they will try to ride their bullpen to a championship, although losing Jason Adams is a big blow. But I'm skeptical they can produce enough offense over 3 or 4 rounds of the postseason unless Machado and Tatis rise to the occasion. Chat GPT didn't want to do it.
Nope, didn't want to do it.
They're like, come on, Jim.
It's like we're broken. It said what did it say? It said we're not able to find that at this time, but according to StatMuse, the Padres are 29th in baseball in total team home runs.
Right.
Okay, well, that's what we just saw. But anyway,
put Kevin Acee to it. I love that.
Just anytime that we need numbers, just go to Kevin Acee.
I said, who's hit the most home runs since August 1st? And it's like Joe Adell. No, not player, dude. Come on, why can't you? Aren't you listening to the show?
I know.
ChatGPT. So I think real or fake type conversations. I mean, it's just like fodder. Obviously, how could you possibly know? Like, I guarantee they say the Dodgers are real, right? Don't we guarantee that they say the Dodgers are real? Real or not, the Dodgers' bullpen issues will prevent them from winning the World Series. Not real. So the Dodgers bullpen issues aren't real, but the Padres offensive issues are real.
I have a number.
Okay.
The Padres have hit 35 home runs since August 1st.
It doesn't sound like that many. Because it's already September 8th.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's probably 15th.
Probably
By
16th.
16th. Yeah. It's not, it doesn't sound that gaudy, does it to you?
No, it doesn't.
What about the other 29 teams?
I'll ask this. I'll ask them who's hit the most home runs.
What team?
Yeah. What team?
Is it the most home runs since August 1st of 2025?
What team has hit the most home runs since August 1st? This is just
really good,
exceptional
man.
radio.
I'm
This is
glad
what wins
you're
us
doing this.
awards.
This is really good.
Since August 1st, the Yankees have hit 69 home runs as a team.
So the Padres have only hit half as many.
Correct. I have the numbers here, actually.
So
Yankees
where
have
are
hit
they?
69. Mets have hit 62. Padres. We were wrong. They're 23rd in baseball since
Even
August
since
1st.
August 1st. That's incredible.
They're tied with the Rockies. And
Where are the Dodgers on that list?
Dodgers are 11th. They've hit 46 home runs since August 1st.
I want to say they've scored among the fewest runs in baseball over the last 2 months. Saw that somewhere recently. I mean, they have really struggled to score, but when they do score, it's via the long ball, which makes sense, honestly.
So 23rd in baseball. They're going up since August 1st from 29th.
Yeah, from 29th. I guess that's a good point. Like we made this point at the deadline. How good can you really make your offense at a deadline? Like how much improvement can you actually make with your offense when you have like Machado, Tatis, Bogarts, Merrill baked in?
Right.
Like you know how much improvement they made? Ramon Laureano. Like thank the Lord they acquired him. He's been their entire improvement, basically.
Since August 1st, the team's hitting 261 with a 751 combined OPS as a team. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's solid. That's actually solid. They've been much better on offense.
The home run part is still an issue, but it's not like they're dead last in baseball with like 15 home runs since August 1st.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. All right, switching gears. Brian Dutcher joins us on the other side. Spoke to the media earlier today. The Aztecs 25-26 full schedule has been released. We'll get into the schedule, his team, and the expectations with the head coach of the Aztecs. Brian Dutcher joins us next on John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres just one game back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Start a 3-game series tonight against the Cincinnati Reds at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Good news for the Padres. Michael King is set to make his return to the mound tomorrow night. And tonight, Monday Night Football wraps up week 1. Vikings and Bears kick off in Chicago at 5:20 p.m. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
All right, Brian Dutcher is going to join us here momentarily. Aztecs 2025-26 schedule is out, and it's an exciting one because they've got Michigan and Oregon in Las Vegas. They have Arizona on a neutral floor in Phoenix. They've got a conference slate that now includes Grand Canyon. So there's a lot to get into, including the upcoming year with the head coach of the Aztecs, Brian Dutcher, back with us on John and Jim. San Diego Sports 760. Dutch, always appreciate you taking time. We know you spoke with the media earlier. Schedule is out. It's got the exhibition game as well at Viejas Arena against UCLA. So let's just start there. I mean, what kind of opportunity is that for your program and for the fan base to see UCLA at Viejas Arena, albeit in an exhibition, but to kick off your year?
Yeah, I mean, it's two teams that want to test each other early. Do it in front of a crowd, and I think it's a great opportunity for both UCLA and San Diego State to kind of see where they're at in October.
So looking at this schedule here, Dutch, Michigan, Oregon, Arizona, it's a good non-conference schedule. How important will those games be for, when we comes, March time to make your resume the best it possibly can be?
Well, that's the reason we got in last year. Those early wins over Creighton and Houston in the Players Era event in Vegas, and we're right back in it again this year. And obviously we have Michigan and Oregon, our first 2 games, and then there'll be a third game that'll be a high major game. And so I just believe that you schedule to try to make the NCAA tournament in November. If you falter, you still have the conference and the conference tournament to play your way in. But we've never ducked anybody, and I think if you look at this schedule, you throw Arizona in there too, it's a very competitive schedule.
And the Players Era tournament where you will play Michigan and Oregon and then a third team, whenever that is, or whenever you find out who that is, that tournament is turning out to be a very important tournament for many reasons, not just to help your resume, but as far as NIL money goes, that goes a long way here for the future of this program.
Yeah, I mean, we're to the revenue sharing end of college basketball right now when the judge gavelled the ruling, and so there's a little bit more control over it. But with that being said, I still have to be out there raising that revenue for our program. And the Players Era event that puts $1 million into our NIL coffers and gives us a chance to continue to keep San Diego State relevant on a national level. And that's important not only for the games, but for the financial end of it where we can put a team together.
To that point, and Brian Dutcher with us right now. Again, the Aztecs will open their season for real November 4th against Long Beach State, and a former Aztec assistant, now the head coach there, Chris Acker. So Long Beach State will be at Viejas Arena on November 4th, but a pair of exhibitions, including UCLA and USD at Viejas Arena. But Dutch, to that point, going back to the UCLA exhibition, that's impactful as well, right? Because some of the funds and the proceeds from that game are going to benefit the recruitment and retention fund, which is directly impacting your program, right?
Absolutely. The USD exhibition game will be part of the season ticket package. I think we're giving the fans 17 games in the package, which is as many as we've ever given them. But in order to make money, in order to keep San Diego State basketball moving forward against national competition, we're going to play an NIL game at Viejas Arena. We were offered to move the game to a neutral site, but I just thought it was important we played at our arena in front of our fans. And I think the opportunity for them to purchase tickets to help the program, I think will go a long way.
Dutch, we always talk about metrics, and the Mountain West the last few years has been so solid across the board, getting right 3, 4, 5, 6 teams into the NCAA tournament. What's the impact of the addition of Grand Canyon, a team that's been in the tournament, that has had good metrics? You'll play them both in Phoenix and in San Diego this upcoming year.
It just adds to our strength of schedule. To add Grand Canyon twice onto the schedule on top of our non-conference schedule, and then what could be a very competitive Mountain West will do nothing but help us build the kind of resume we need, not only to make it into March, but to get a high seed in March.
How's the health of the team looking headed into the stretch run before the season starts here?
It's early September, and we're in pretty good health. Magoon is still coming back from his knee ahead of schedule, and so we will have him out there in October and getting him ready, which it's a long season. I'm not concerned with that. And then we have a few aches and pains, but nothing that's season long. Like last year when we ended up losing Reese for the season with a broken foot. We had Nick Boyd last year who broke a foot and missed the beginning of the year or lead up to the year. And so we're pretty healthy for the most part right now.
Speaking of Reese coming off that broken foot, how has he looked this offseason getting ready for the upcoming year?
He looks good in practice. I mean, he's getting his timing back. You sit an entire season, and even though you're healthy, you haven't really played basketball in a full season. And so now that he's getting his timing back, he's becoming a lot more effective on the court for us. And it's really good to see Reese back out there in the Aztec uniform.
Brian Dutcher with us right now on John and Jim. You've touched on this before publicly. This fine line of having depth, but not necessarily having too much depth, right? I mean, it's better to have depth as opposed to not have it. What are the challenges it creates when you have a team that might be among the deepest teams in the history of San Diego State men's basketball?
Yeah, obviously it's getting these guys minutes and knowing that I can't play them all. And so there's going to be disappointed guys in that locker room. And I understand that. And I feel for the guys that aren't out there, but a year ago when we had injuries, we ended up being shorthanded without Reese, Magoon for 7 games, and that was hard too. And so if we stay healthy, we'll probably have a tough time getting everybody in the game. But injuries can occur and things happen, and so it's good to have that extra depth.
Where are you expecting the growth from Miles Bird, who's now entering his 4th year in the program and went through the NBA evaluation process, the combine process? Like, where's his confidence at, and what's the next step in his evolution?
Bird had a great summer, preparing for the draft, working out for different NBA teams, going to the combine, and all those experiences help you. We should have a more physically mature Bird, one that's been through the process and kind of knows what it is to be the kind of player he wants to be. And so just the maturity and the growth should serve not only Miles well, but the Aztecs as well.
One of your new transfers, Latrell Davis from San Jose State. Fans maybe want to know a little bit more about him, his game, his style, where he might be fit into this team this year or in the future. What can you tell fans a little bit about Latrell Davis?
Well, obviously, Latrell had 26 and 22 on the Aztecs last year.
Yeah.
So we know he can score the ball, and he scores it at different levels. He can make the three. He attacks with strength to the basket. And so Latrell's going to be a very important addition to what we're doing. And he's looked good in practice and will continue to get better as he gets accustomed to the Aztec system, both offensively and defensively.
What's the first summer like, Dutch, in your program when you look at your freshman class, a year ago with Taj and Farrow, right now, LZ Harrington and Tay Simmons? What's that process like? You got this veteran group, you got 5th and 6th year players, but now you have these newcomers coming in. What's that process like for them as they come into college?
Yeah, I mean, I'm real happy with our freshmen. Tay's been battling a bit of a hamstring, a strain, and so he's been limited. But LZ's looked good in his practice minutes. A year ago, we were playing out of our top players, 6 of them were freshmen and sophomores. And now those guys have grown into sophomores and juniors. So we're excited with the progression of the team that the older you are, the more experience you have, generally, the better your team's going to be. And we got to hope that's the case.
With the offensive weapons you have, and Brian Dutcher with us right now on San Diego Sports 760, what's the acclimation process been like for Sean Newman Jr.? Last year, 3rd in the nation in assists per game. I think I just saw some graphic in terms of returning players in assists per game. He might be 1st or 2nd in the nation in terms of returning players. How has he fit in so far?
Yeah, I mean, a pass first point guard is good to have when you have scores on the floor, and we should have scores on the floor, at every position, whether it's Magoon or Heidi or Farrow inside and around the basket, or Bird and Reese and BJ on the perimeter with Taj. We've got a lot of depth, and we've got a lot of guys who can score the ball. So having a pass first point guard like Sean will keep everybody happy and everybody involved.
Dutch, I'm curious because you've played Michigan before, even as a head coach. You went to Ann Arbor, and now you're getting Michigan on a neutral floor. But there's like more ties in there, like Dusty May, who's at FAU. With some of those players you've seen over the course of some tournament runs over the last couple of years as well. Is there any unique significance when you see Michigan, where you spent all that time, when you see Michigan on a schedule?
It's like seeing Houston a year ago. They're going to be ranked. They're going to be good. They're going to be well coached, and you have to be prepared to play a team like that. Obviously, they're on the transfer portal and add a lot of pieces. We're going to play against the point guard we played against from North Carolina last year.
Right.
We're going to play against Langenborn from UAB, who's over at Michigan now as a transfer. Mara, who played up at UCLA, is on the Michigan roster.
Crazy.
And so faces we're familiar with, but at the University of Michigan. So there'll be some familiarity with the personnel, but they'll be in a new system, and it'll be fun to kind of get ready for a game like that.
Well, we're thrilled, obviously, as again, the season gets underway with an exhibition against UCLA on Friday, October 17th, and then for real against Long Beach State on Tuesday, November 4th. San Diego State back in the floor at Viejas Arena. Dutch, we appreciate you taking time for us. We'll do it again before the season, and thanks as always for your time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, great stuff from Brian Dutcher, head coach of the Aztecs, entering his 9th year on the Mesa with as high of expectations as they've had, and they've had high ones. I mean, they've had high. Yeah. I mean, off the national championship game, I thought the expectations were high. They get to a Sweet 16. I think this year, it kind of reminds you of like an expectation of, I don't know, go get to a Sweet 16 or further, which is hard to do.
Yeah, I like their non-conference schedule a lot. I like the UCLA exhibition game.
Yeah, definitely.
In front of fans. Like, that's going to be pretty cool. And then Michigan, Oregon, another really good team. So they're going to face those 3 teams there, the Players Era tournament in Vegas, then Arizona. It's a good non-conference schedule, that's for sure.
It really is. And then Grand Canyon twice. I mean, Grand Canyon is not easy,
No.
specifically in Phoenix. And then this league, I mean, you got to go to places like New Mexico and Boise. It has been a good league over the last handful of years.
I actually did forget about that. I forgot that Grand Canyon got put into the Mountain West Conference schedule.
It's just like that.
I know.
It just happened.
Yeah.
You're right.
And everyone's like, wait, what?
It changed
or
a
the
lot.
teams that were departing were like, excuse me?
But then, from a metric perspective, I think it could be very beneficial for San Diego State. Padres lineup is out.
Ooh.
We're going to react to it. It's kind of interesting because Mike Schilt does a little bit of an about face from Friday.
Of course he did.
Against a left-handed starter. So we'll get into that on the other side. Plus, is that good? The best and worst of the sports weekend. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. The Padres will field a lineup today. They'll have a team.
They will?
Yeah, because they've announced it.
Oh, wow.
And I was kind of thinking maybe they do what they did Friday, which is put Luis Ariz on the bench against a left-handed starter. I was mistaken.
So let me guess. They didn't.
Well, yeah, if I was mistaken, he's in the lineup. But O'Hearn sits for Ariz. It's as simple as that. O'Hearn sits for Ariz. They just go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left all the way through this thing. Tatis, Ariz, Machado, Sheets, Laureano, Merrill, Iglesias, Cronenworth, Fermin for Darvish. So they just right, left, right, left, right, left their way through it, which makes sense. And listen, Ariz has had moments. You said it yesterday at 3 hits. He was also hitless on Saturday, and he didn't play on Friday. But Ariz has not had good numbers against left-handed pitching. It is as simple as that. Yet he gets another opportunity tonight against a left-handed starter.
I mean, it didn't make sense when he was talking about it on Friday, and he's like, "Yeah, off day, off and off day. I just want to get him off his feet. These guys have played a lot, huh?"
Right.
Like,
right.
What? Okay. I don't know, man. Like I said, first a lefty, it's going to be wonky. Mike Schilt. At the end of the day, these lineups aren't the end all be all to this team's performance. I mean, They got to go out and they got to perform. Like Manny Machado, he's got to perform. He had one hit all weekend. It's a big hit, but still, he's got to be better. Fernando Tatis Jr., Jackson Merrill. Hopefully, being in Colorado will get the bats going here for the rest of the season, or at least just this week to start. Just hopefully the series, just to kind of break it down even further. Because you could put wherever guys in the lineup are hitting, they got to produce. So
it's a fair point.
We can get mad and upset. And, when we hear Mike Schultz's explanations for things, then he goes about face and does something different. Like, yeah, we'll call it out. And it just doesn't make any sense. And it's weird. But at the end of the day, the guys in the lineup got to produce. You got to
one game. You can't. It's hard to overreact to one lineup in one regular season game.
And you're going to need your starting pitching to go out there and give you 5+ innings.
Completely. They really do need that from you, Darvish. All right, the wrap's coming up in about 10 or so minutes. Do we have Is That Good? Let's get to Is That Good.
So Derrick Henry last night, John, ran for 169 yards. Very nice. And 2 touchdowns last night against the Bills. But he had that late game fumble that pretty much gave the Bills the opening that they needed to get back in that game and end up winning it. Brent, is that good?
No. Are you kidding me? For the loss despite 170 yards.
He had an amazing game.
Yeah.
But all anybody will remember is that fumble.
Man, his career has been so ridiculously good, though. I mean, his production, it's ridiculous.
Did you know? The funny stat that I saw kind of circulating the internet last night was his high school numbers.
They must have been good.
Where in 4 years in high school, he rushed for over 12,000 yards.
Which is probably all the yards they had. Like they just gave him the ball.
Last year, he rushed for over 4,000 yards. In
high school?
Yeah, in high school.
How do you even do that?
Well, he did it.
400 yards a game.
He did it. And he is about to reach his high school career numbers in the NFL.
The guy has been an absolute monster.
So like in Derrick Henry's career, he's rushed for 11,592 yards. In high school, he rushed for 12,000 something. So he's about to match his high school totals.
If he was still in high school, he'd have even more yards than he has right now in the NFL.
You think if he was in a high school team, he would do well?
18th all time in NFL history in rushing yardage, by the way, for Derrick Henry. All right, my first one is going to be the San Diego Wave retiring Alex Morgan's jersey this past Sunday night. Is that good?
It is good.
Congrats to Alex Morgan.
Very
jersey
cool moment
by the Wave. 1 minute standing ovation.
Yeah.
For Morgan.
Yeah, very, very cool moment for her. Aaron Rodgers versus his old team that he only played one season for, the Jets. threw 4 touchdowns, no picks. Post game, he said, "Yeah, I wanted to beat everybody involved with the Jets," or something along those lines. Sorry, Brent. Is that good?
What do you mean he only spent one season with the Jets? Don't you remember the other year?
Yeah, that one drive he had.
Exactly. The Padres, the last 2 games in Colorado after getting shut out Friday, combined for 31 hits, 16 on Saturday, 15 on Sunday. They combined for 18 runs in those 2 games. Is that good? Everything's good.
Everything's great. Dylan Cease
Everything's amazing.
picked up his first road win yesterday against the Colorado Rockies. Is that good?
You give him an 8-run lead.
You better hold it.
Watch him work. And
Yeah.
he did yesterday
Yep.
against the Rockies. My final one I mentioned earlier, Josh Allen, the first player this century, it's been 25 years, to throw for 250 yards or more in a fourth quarter. He went for 269, 3 touchdowns, the come from behind miraculous win in the final 4 minutes. Josh Allen leading the way with that ridiculous fourth quarter. Is that good?
Everything's good.
Everything's great other than Derrick Henry's fumble.
Correct.
That was bad.
That was bad.
But his game was good, but it's not. Like you said, what are people going to remember? They're not going to remember the 169 yards.
Can I give you his high school stats? Because I have them
give
in front
him.
of me.
Yeah.
It's my bonus. Is that good?
Yeah.
He had, dude, these are ridiculous.
How many yards per carry? 4.8? No.
40,
14.8.
40 straight 100-yard games. He never ran for under 100 yards. He averaged 250 plus rushing yards.
Okay.
Ran for a record 502 yards in a game. 9.2 yards per carry as a senior. 12,124 career rushing yards and 153 touchdowns.
Is that good?
Is that good? Dude, ridiculous.
You know what it reminds me of? I don't even know if this is still the record in college. Have you seen the Marshall Faulk freshman year against the University of Pacific game?
No.
386 yards as a freshman for San Diego State. 37 carries, 386. It may still be the record. We'll have to look that up.
Derrick Henry in one game, 48 carries, 502 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
It's absurd.
Like, wait. What?
Yeah, it's absurd.
Like his numbers through high school, college, and now, like college, he won the Heisman, 42 rushing touchdowns in his career, 3,500 yards rushing, 12,000 yards rushing in high school. He's about to hit 12,000 yards rushing in the pros. Huh?
Yeah, he's been good. He's been solid. He is that good.
Dude,
I mean, his numbers are ridiculous.
Dude, his game log in high school. It's like first game of the year, 31 carries, 336 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns.
The thing is, though, I do wonder, like, is not a lot of, like, if we looked up Saquon Barkley's high school numbers, they're probably pretty good.
Are they this good?
I don't know. I mean, I bet they're really good.
One game he ran 35 times for 455 yards, 13 yards on the ground. It's 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, that is honestly ridiculous. Because I just looked this up.
Dude.
No, but dude, like here, I'll give you Saquon Barkley's senior year, 3,646 yards and 63 touchdowns. 63.
Better than Derrick Henry.
63.
But Derrick Henry had more yards rushing.
In a season than 36-46?
He had 42-61.
63 touchdowns.
Now, this was on 462 carries.
It's a lot, dude. That's every play of the game.
One game, he ran the ball 57 times for 485 yards.
That's amazing.
Like, that's stupid.
It almost leads you to believe that they're going to be pretty good. Like, if you're coming out of high school with 12,000 yards, you're probably going to be pretty good. And he's turned out to be pretty good. All right, we're going to get to the wrap coming up on the other side. Kevin Acee will join us live at 5 p.m. Padres and Reds game, one of a 3-game series. If you missed our conversation with the Reds TV voice, John Sadak, you'll hear that in the 5 o'clock hour as well. We haven't even mentioned, but we have buried the lead, Jim. We have buried the lead. We want to bring you a sombrero lunch this Friday. John and Jim will tell you how you can win that lunch from us on the other side. We have buried the lead. I blame Jim. Stay with us. The wrap coming up next. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer, and there's no better time than now to get down to your local Toyota dealer with new vehicles arriving daily, including their most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs. So whatever kind of vehicle you're looking for, hurry into your Toyota dealer today, or make sure to head to Toyota.com. If you're looking for a great deal on a new Toyota, there you can check out all the latest offers, search inventory. Finding the Toyota that's just right for you starts at Toyota.com. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup of electrified vehicles helps to create a greener planet. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup supports a greener planet with a wide range of electrified vehicles, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and fully electric vehicles, or take each day further than you thought possible in a new Camry with its stylish looks that'll make an impression wherever you go. See your Toyota dealer today and discover what makes Camry legendary. There's no better time than now to get your local Toyota dealer. Get your local Toyota dealer today or Toyota.com. That's Toyota.com. Your Toyota dealers, we make it easy.
This update's brought to you by Staples. Padres and Reds start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. 6:40 first pitch. Padres are trailing the Dodgers by 1 game in the National League West. Dodgers start a 3-game series at home at Dodger Stadium against the Colorado Rockies. And good news for the Padres, Michael King is set to make his return tomorrow night. And tonight, Monday Night Football wraps up week 1 as the Vikings take on the Bears in Chicago. Kickoff is at 5:20 p.m. This is your savings tip of the summer. Shop Staples for school supplies as low as 25 cents, plus more great deals for teachers and students on top brands and training styles. Kind of makes me wish I was in school again. Not really. Staples, that was easy.
The first NFL Sunday.
Let's go! That's football!
Not lacking excitement.
Takes the contact and converts. Touchdown, Kyron Williams. Touchdown, LA.
A long road trip for the Aztecs.
And it's going to be Duggar who's in for the touchdown on the zone read.
And the Padres loving the thin air in Colorado.
In the air to left field. Tagged pretty well. Beck looks up, and that's gone too. Laureano gets his 23rd home run of the year.
A full weekend, and we break it all down from the San Diego Sports 760 studios with John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of John and Jim. I need you to stop what you're doing. Forget about the Padres and Reds. Forget about Monday Night Football. Forget about college football. Forget about everything.
Okay.
And open the iHeartRadio app. This is why, okay? This Friday, John and Jim, like the actual, like us, not like a blow up John and Jim. That'd be weird.
Wait, what?
We're going to bring someone lunch this Friday. And this is what you need to do. Open the TalkBack mic. So open the app. If you don't have the app, download the app.
Mm-hmm.
Open the app, search for 760. Click on the red microphone icon. Use the TalkBack. Tell us your name, where you work, and why we should bring you and your crew. Okay, you and your crew.
Your crew, your
like
friends.
your work crew, not the like if you work at a Fortune 500, we're probably not bringing lunch for like 16,000 people.
No,
but you and your crew, we're going to bring lunch on Friday. What is the lunch? Sombreros. We're going to bring you sombrero Mexican food on Friday. This Friday. Tell us your name, where you work, why we should bring you lunch. Sombrero Mexican food has been serving up San Diego style Mexican food, as a lot of you know, for over 40 years.
We love sombrero. When we get the sombrero trays at work, Brent goes to town on those things. But it's a great, a family style type of meal here, where you get the whole big tray and you get all the good fixings. You get the carnitas, you get the buffalo chicken surf and turf. You also get guacamole.
Wait, is it the buffalo chicken surf and turf, or is it buffalo chicken, surf and turf? To me, it would be weird to have buffalo chicken surf and turf.
Buffalo chicken, surf and turf,
and more.
You can have quesadillas, burritos.
So who wants this? So we are literally going to hand deliver you lunch this Friday if you open the TalkBack mic.
Yeah, and just tell us your name and where you live. And
now, don't live in like Alaska.
No, that's not going to work out for us.
It's going to have to be in San Diego County.
Yep, it has to be in San Diego County. Can't be like up in. I live in the Bay Area.
Last point of San Diego County either.
Like ideally, Mission Valley,
60 miles. It's a big county.
Yeah,
no, it could be anywhere. So if anywhere in the county, open up the app right now. Tell us your name, where you work, why we should bring you and your crew, whatever that looks like, your work crew, crew. Sombrero Mexican food.
I know I said where you live. I meant where you work, not where you live.
So wait, are we just going to then surprise someone on Friday, or are they going to know in advance that they've won lunch? Because what if you bring a paper bag with like your PB&J and like your grapes?
Well,
that's a weird lunch.
That's a good question, John.
But are we still gonna be like surprise, or with like mascots and we got balloons and
we don't have the budget for mascots here.
We don't have a mascot
or balloons.
It's not Publishers Clearinghouse.
That's what I want to bring a big check. It says sombrero food.
Congratulations, you won sombreros.
Right.
Just bring fake food.
Right. Okay, so open the app and do that.
Yep. TalkBack mic on the iHeartRadio app. If you want John and Jim to bring you lunch to work on Friday, just go to the TalkBack mic right now. Leave us a TalkBack, your name, where you work, and you could have us bring you a full tray of Sombrero's Mexican food to you on Friday afternoon.
Do we get to eat with the winner?
That's a good question.
Would that be weird? Like, hey, we're here.
We
open that thing up.
We bring them food, and then we're the first one in line to like grab the food.
Right. Like, where are the napkins? Where's your soda machine?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so do it. We'll tell you more about that over the course of the next few days. Again, Kevin Acey will join us coming up at 5 p.m. But right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Who's going to win tonight's Monday Night Football game between the Bears and the Vikings?
I'm going to go with the Bears on this one. I don't know what to expect from J.J. McCarthy.
You mean discount Cody Rhodes? This is what he looks like.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. John has no idea.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears on this one. I don't know if we're going to see fireworks like we saw last night. Like, it's probably not going to get as good as game as we got last night. Probably not even get close to good quarterback play like we saw last night with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. But yeah, I'll take the Bears tonight.
The Bears. I'm going to take the Vikings, dude. I'm going to take because I feel like there's no real NFL film on JJ McCarthy. I feel like he's primed for a good debut. I really do. I feel like
Kevin O'Connell's going to set him up for success.
I think people are very high on JJ McCarthy. I think the Vikings are the better team. So because of that, I'm going to take the Vikings. Now, what's the line in this game? Do we know the line?
Bears -1.5.
Okay, yeah, I'm confident the Vikings plus 1.5. Yeah, I'll take the Vikings on the road.
The old home team -1.5.
Yeah. Next question.
Can the Niners overcome all their injuries? There's a bunch of them.
No, they can't.
Season's over. Jim texted me in game. I didn't even care. It's like season over. When he texted that, I didn't even look at anything. 2 hours later, I'm like, I assume the Niners won. So I looked. I'm like, did the Niners win? They won 17-13. But I'm pretty sure when you texted me, correct me if I'm wrong, was when Purdy threw a pick in a 10-10 game with about 7 minutes to play.
Yeah. When did I text you?
Was it when Moody missed like 100 field goals from 2 yards, or was it when Purdy threw a duck that was intercepted with 7 minutes?
I gotta look the exact time that I sent you these texts.
Yeah.
So the Niners season is over. That was at 2:37. So that had to have been in the second half.
Yeah, maybe early second half.
Yeah, probably after a second pick. That's probably when I sent you that text message. Or maybe it was as I figured out that George Kittle is not going to miss 3 to 5 weeks, or the fact that Juwan Jennings now might miss time because of a shoulder injury, or that Brock Purdy now might miss some time because he has a messed up shoulder and a bum foot.
So just me, or are they better without Purdy?
Oh, and the fact that Christian McCaffrey got 30 plus touches yesterday, the most of anybody in the entire league, and he's playing on one leg.
So my Orange Theory coach, James, was listening to on Friday. He's like, Jim made it sound like McCaffrey wasn't playing. On Friday when I listened, he's like, Jim made it sound like he wasn't going to get a snap or a touch. And he ended up with 30 touches. And then he was also very critical of Jake Moody.
Well, Jake Moody sucks.
You can't miss a field goal inside 30 yards in the NFL. He missed a field goal inside 30 yards, did he not?
27-yarder doink.
You cannot.
No, it's over.
Like you got to be 100%.
Yeah. You're done.
They're 100% inside 50 now.
His kicks over the last 2 years.
He's had some massive misses.
Since the start of last season to yesterday, he's 65%.
That's awful.
65%. In his career, he's 77%.
Do you know the Aztecs kicker, Gabe Placencia?
Yes.
He's 14 of 15 in his career.
Yeah. So you in the National Football League as a kicker, you can't be 77% in your career and expect to keep a job.
There's got to be a kicker better than him.
If they don't cut his ass this week, that's malpractice by Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch.
I'm sorry. He has had some massive misses for them.
I don't want to go too hyperbolic here, but at the same time, look, that Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs, if Jake Moody, now I'm not going to put the loss on Jake Moody, obviously. But
he missed like a 40-something yarder, didn't he?
Extra point and a 40-yarder. That's 4 points off the board in the Super Bowl.
How much did they lose by? Was that the overtime game?
That was the overtime game.
Oh, my gosh. I would not be able to sleep. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh, you have to cut him.
Cut him yesterday.
Not just that. You have to, like, roast him. You got to do, like, a Comedy Central roast.
Shoot him to the freaking sun.
Oh, I'm like, don't shoot him.
Launch him to the sun. Even worse. Like, I'm done with the guy. The guy is a failure.
An overtime Super Bowl game, and the guy left 4 points out there.
Correct.
Oh, I can't get over.
I'm so done with Jake Moody. It's not even funny. That guy is awful.
Next question.
Will Ohio State repeat as national champs?
Who did they beat? They beat Grambling this weekend at
like
home.
70-0.
2-0.
Those games are so ridiculous, dude. I saw like the Alabama score. They won like 73-0 over some random like tech school.
Florida State put up 77.
Minnesota had 59 in the first half. Minnesota, 59 in the first half.
Like, what are we doing here?
But it's like Ohio State clearly the best team in college football. They beat Texas at home. That's the big marquee win of the year.
Well, okay, let's look at just real quick here.
Look at every team's schedule.
No. I'm just looking at Ohio State's schedule to see the next time they're going to be tested. All right. So
Conference play.
And stayed at home or something.
next time, so Illinois, they play
Yeah, Illinois is good.
October 11th on the road.
They'll beat them, right?
You would think.
It's Illinois.
Yeah, they'll beat them.
Give me a break.
But the biggest matchup on their schedule, Ohio State, Penn State.
In Columbus, though, right?
November 1st in Columbus.
Win.
And then the final game of the year,
Michigan,
Ohio State. It's
Where's
on
that?
the road at the Big House.
Now, haven't they lost like 3 or 4 straight now to Michigan?
They've lost, I think, 4 in a row.
Holy moly.
And, a lot of Ohio State fans, were ready to fire Ryan Day last year, but they did win the national title.
Yeah, that'll work.
But here's the thing. It's like, you won the national title, and that's amazing. But die hard Ohio State fans still are like, yeah, but we lost to Michigan.
There's a little bit of that in there. I agree with that. I think here's the thing with Ohio State. They're always so damn good. So they'll be in position. They're like, I don't know, they're like Alabama. They really are. Alabama's been more dominant, but they're very similar in how successful they've been. So if Ohio State on the field, I'd take the field. But Ohio State has a very good chance of winning a national championship. Next question.
Is this a must-win series for the Padres?
Must-win series.
Yeah, it's a must-win, homestand for the Padres.
Right.
7 games, 4 against the Rockies. You got to go no worse than 5-2.
No worse than. Yeah, I mean, are we taking on the dotted line right now 5 wins, 2 losses?
Yeah.
No matter the way.
Yeah.
5 straight wins, loss to the Rockies.
If they lose the next 2 games and then they win,
and they have 5 straight.
5 straight.
I think you have to.
I think you have to too.
6-1. I mean, it's really good baseball. I don't care who you're playing, and maybe they do it. They've been great at home.
Yeah,
but I'm taking 5-2, and I can live with it.
Yeah, you're not going up against the Dodgers, so you're not going to be directly impacted if you lose 2 or 3 to them.
Yeah, it's not a 2-game swing.
Right. So 5-2. I don't care how they get it done, but get 5-2.
What about the Dodgers having the next 3 against the Rockies? I don't care about that because you have the next 4 against the Rockies after that.
Yeah,
and it's like advantage Padres.
Yep. And you already took 2 or 3 from the Rockies at Colorado. They're a much more dangerous team on the road.
Oh my god!
Or at home, excuse
Not
me,
even close.
than on the road.
You can run into one of those games. You're like, how did we lose this game? We led by 5 late. We lost.
Yep.
To the Rockies.
It almost happened Saturday
at
night.
home, that should never happen.
You should clean up against the Rockies here. And we'll see about the Reds, but even if they lose 2 or 3 of the Reds,
could win 4 straight against the Rockies.
Then it would put the pressure on to have to win 4 straight against the Rockies.
Which again, I don't know if that's easy.
Sweeping a team in a 4-game series is never easy.
It can't be easy.
I don't care who you play.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Rockies are the worst team in the sport by a Grand Canyon size.
Already 100 losses? Already?
They're about to give up 1,000 runs this year. 1,000 runs this team is about to give up.
It's insane how bad they've been.
So, yeah, 5-2 homestand. It's not a must-win series here. But, look, if they don't win the series against the Reds, then you got to sweep the Rockies. That's how I view it.
I have very good news.
I know what you're going to say because I saw your email.
We're going to hear from Mike Schild.
Oh, my goodness.
I have very good news. We're going to hear from Mike Schild.
How long is Mike Schild?
How long he's going to speak for? He's going to speak
2 minutes.
for 7 minutes and 19 seconds.
Seriously?
Well, you don't need to. You could just play it, right, Brett?
What's going on? It's an email.
We're going to hear from Mike Schild on the other side. Kevin Hayes will join us live at 5 p.m. Stay with us on John and Jim. All right, John and Jim. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. We have Mike Schild. Where does this start? Brent's going to tell us where this starts. We're going to hear from Mike Schild because the Padres are playing baseball in 2 hours. And he talks about the Padres playing baseball.
Oh, he doesn't talk about last night's NFL Sunday night football game?
I'll tell you what. I wouldn't. Derrick Henry, how can you live with yourself? You think he criticizes the play calling? I don't think so.
He's like, man, should have run to the right instead of the left.
What are you thinking there?
Can't believe they handed off there. Bad play.
Really was. Where's this start, Brent? All right, let's get an update on Michael King from Mike Schild.
Yes, I think that expectations he has, we have, and probably no one's more excited about Michael. It's been since May. He did pitch for that one time against the Red Sox briefly, but Michael's ready and able to come back, and we're excited to see him pitch tomorrow night.
What is the value of having him return at this time as your team is making a push, and then what is the expectation for him specific to tomorrow?
It means a lot to the team. You start to get Darvish built up now. Michael still in the process, but I'm sure he alluded to it. He got to 70 pitches or so last in his bridge game in Arizona. So we'll err on the side of caution tomorrow, but he's built up. Dylan was really positive yesterday in his outing, like the sweeper. I thought he was really good, and Nick's been really good as well. Vasquez pitched well the other day. So my ultimate point is that starting rotation is starting to shape out. As far as expectations for Michael goes, they're always high for all of our guys, and they're no higher than Michael's going to set for himself. And we're going to temper him a little bit just because he hadn't been on the big league mound as much. But all the things that he's been doing is really checked all the boxes, and he's ready to go compete. And Michael King's, an ace for us last year, and was at the start of the season was on a pace to be a Cy Young consideration.
Kind of alluded to it, but you mentioned the 3 starts that you had in Colorado, and all of them were solid starts from your guys. What does that do for the confidence of the rotation at this point, and also for the bullpen?
Quite a bit. It not only for the starters' confidence, the team confidence. The fact that we got 3 quality starts, in Colorado, which again historically is a harder pitching environment. And that's the one thing we ask of the starters: just give us a chance to win a ball game, and most of the time they do. The thing that's been interesting, we went through a stretch he wasn't as good, and that's in past tense, by the way. And it also magnifies the fact that we've done some pretty good things over the course of the year, and the starting pitch has been a part of that. So just getting back to what that looks like, but how it affects the team, and we won 2 out of 3, and outside of Freeland pitching a magnificent game, we could have easily swept the series. And then let's do the bullpen quite a bit, because you don't want to get it's not built to get more innings out of your relievers than your starters. And so when they can get at least half the game or a little bit more, or in some cases a lot more, but at least a little bit more, it sets us up for success.
Yesterday, we saw some different looks in the infield with Jake Cronenworth looking really good at shortstop. We saw Luis Arraez at second and O'Hearn at first. What does that versatility do for you as a manager?
Yeah, it allows us to use the moving parts relative to a lot of moving parts, and that's the thing that, Jake made a great play at shortstop, and we have a lot of players that can play different positions, and we use them accordingly. I don't need to get into all the reasons. I will if you need me to, but we'll be here a while. There's a lot to be said about the lineup for yesterday. Who was pitching for us, who was pitching for them. Today we have a lefty going on the mound, so we also have a really good player in Jose Iglesias that's helped us win a lot of ball games this year. And from a fielding percentage standpoint, one of the best fielding shortstops in baseball. We've got, we want to make sure, that stretch we talked about, we didn't play as clean defensively. So I want to make sure that we are factoring in our defense relative to the decision that also was weighed in on the length of the offense. But, we have a good offense that Jose and those guys have been able to contribute to. So it's really a fluid situation, is a long answer to your question, and I hope I answered it well.
Yes.
Okay.
Mike, to piggyback off that, how frequently or infrequently would we expect to see Jake at shortstop moving forward?
Yeah, I try to just explain it. I'm going to try again. It's very fluid. It's really, there's a lot of factors to it that again, some of what else. I mean, there's just a lot to it, and there's other players involved with it. And I understand the question completely, and I don't know how else best to answer it other than the way I just did.
You've had a couple games like yesterday where you're hitting home runs in bunches. How much do you see power in this lineup as a potential difference maker for this team late September, potentially in October?
Yeah, I think we're always looking. We're not anti-homer. We enjoy and appreciate the home run, and I like the fact that we use the all the field to be able to do it. Jackson went opposite field, and Manny used the left center gap. So it was definitely a part of it. Ariana, hit another laser out of the ballpark. So, Sheetsy, crushed one as well. And so, yeah, we love that to be a part of our offense. But not every day there's guys going to present pitches and opportunities to get homers. And so, we have to also win in other areas, which we work on. And, we're doing our best to be as holistic as possible, and a home run's part of our offense.
They have a very consistent approach, kind of one series to the next. Just kind of curious your outlook on a series like this where, you're facing a team that probably views this as a big opportunity for themselves.
I think every team that we play views an opportunity for themselves. I can't – all I can know is that it's an opportunity for us, the Padres. And we're going to go play the style of baseball we expect to play, and that's all I can do. I can control, and I can't worry about where anybody else is other than what the Padres are doing, and be prepared and respectful and with our opponent.
I know you guys love the phrase sense of urgency, but when you have 19 games left, this is your second to last homestand, how crucially is it important for you guys to take care of business at home?
It's crucially important us to win opening day, game 2, game 10, game 140, whatever game it is today, 143 maybe. So I personally, I understand the sense of urgency and that people have, and I can just tell you that I have a sense of urgency every day I show up at a ballpark. So, I feel confident and comfortable by saying if people are going to make situations bigger than they are, that creates anxiety and pressure that's unnecessary. If you create that on a consistent basis of expectation of preparation and competition and enjoyment, then you're going to meet the mark every day the best you can, and that's what I'm confident we've done since I've taken over as manager here. But I do appreciate the time of the year and the question.
He appreciates the question.
Nails on a chalkboard.
We're going to react to what Mike Schill said because there's something pretty fascinating there on Jake Cronenworth that we'll get into.
Oh, yeah.
On the other side, but we do want to remind you, football, it's back, and so is your chance to cash in like never before. DraftKings Pick 6, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Your game day instincts can score you real money fast. All right, what do you got here? Here's the play.
All right, so tonight, Justin Jefferson, I think they're going to go heavy with Justin Jefferson tonight. JJ McCarthy making his very first start in the NFL. Justin Jefferson's going to be a big part of tonight. I'm taking more than a half touchdown tonight for Justin Jefferson.
All right, you see a receiving touchdown. Is that going to be JJ McCarthy's first career touchdown pass?
Could be. No, it will be.
It will be.
It will be. Justin Jefferson will catch the very first touchdown from JJ McCarthy.
They better
tonight.
get Justin Jefferson involved. That would be my,
yeah, I think they will.
advice.
I think they will.
All right, just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats from breakout rookies to elite quarterbacks and unlock the upside every snap brings. The better your calls, the bigger your payout. No gimmicks, no convoluted rules. Just you, your player reads, and a shot at big returns. What do we got here for the kickoff bonus?
All right, so the kickoff bonus.
New DraftKings customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set this season. Play your player instincts. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code SD760. That's code SD760. Play just $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call. Ride the upside. In partnership with DraftKings Pick 6, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. We'll react to Mike Schill coming up next on John and Jim.
This update's brought to you by Staples. Padres and Reds start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park, 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Good news, Michael King will make his return to the Padres rotation tomorrow night. Padres are 1 game back in the National League West. Dodgers start a 3-game series tonight against the Rockies. And tonight wraps up week 1 in the NFL. Monday Night Football, Vikings and Bears kick off at 5:20 p.m. in Chicago. This is your savings tip of the summer. Shop Staples for school supplies as low as 25 cents. Plus, more great deals for teachers and students on top brands and trending styles. Kind of makes me wish I was back in school, John. Again, Staples, that was easy.
All right, Kevin AC at 5 p.m. John and Jim with you here until 6.
It's a Monday, I can tell you that.
It's a Monday, man. There's a lot going on. All right, Mike Schilt. All right, we'll see tomorrow. The thing with Mike Schilt on Jay Cronenworth is you just heard Mike Schilt pregame for 7 minutes, and he was asked twice about Cronenworth playing short, and I knew he was going to bite back at the second question.
Mm-hmm.
But he kept saying it's fluid with Jay Cronenworth playing short. By the way, we're talking about when they face right-handed pitchers.
Because he can't commit, and he can't just like talk and answer a question like a normal person.
Well, his point, he made a point in there to be like, hey, by the way, like when we weren't playing well, our defense really kept us in there. So we really value defense. I'm like, time out, dude.
Pause.
You trailed 4-0 in like 4 or 5 games, and the ball was going over the fence, and your shortstop couldn't save that.
Nope.
He wasn't jumping over the fence and bringing balls back in, even though truthfully, like Laureano and Tatis have, even during these like poor pitching performances. But I don't buy the, hey, let's go field our best team because it's going to really put our pitchers in a better situation. No, like Nestor Cortez is allowing 4 home runs in an outing. What's good defense going to do? So my point is, it's not fluid. Play Jay Cronenworth with it short.
He just, by the way, it's funny in our YouTube chat, multiple people. Where is this here? 7 minutes of Schilty. Do you hate us or what? Another comment. Schilt is painful to listen to. Another comment. Please make it stop.
Like, why do you hate us?
Why do you hate us? Someone said, I just had that thing on mute.
Dude.
Oh, man. He can't just be like normal. Like, it's just, hey, Mike, noticed you made a move yesterday for Jake Cronenworth at shortstop. Is that your best lineup going forward? Seems like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just can't. He just has to praise everybody. Like, oh, we're probably going to sit Jose Iglesias some more. I got to say how great Jose Iglesias is. He's won you some games this year. Like as in plural.
Yeah, well, that's what he was saying.
Okay. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you say, Schilty. But, taking away the fact that Mike Schilt is unbearable to listen to, and the fact that he gets so agitated with just simple questions, regardless of who he puts out there. And Mike Schilt put him off in a corner. The players are more important than anything that Mike Schilt spews out of his mouth.
Wait, say this again. Wait, put Mike Schilt in the corner?
I'm just saying, like, take him out of this equation.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I thought you meant like in general.
No.
Like, it's time for them to like put him in the clubhouse.
Like, just have him.
Wait,
just
what's your plan?
No.
I got you.
Like, take Mike Schilt
out of the equation.
Okay. Because he's not throwing a single pitch. He's not taking a single at bat. He's not making a single play.
It's true.
Like, yes, is he annoying to listen to? 1,000%. But he is not going to determine, by and large part,
100%,
if this team is going to make a run for the division and in the end win the division for the first time in forever.
And truth be told, and I'm with you, you're 100% right. And for everything that we say, for our criticism towards how he speaks with the media, the truth is he has won at a good clip as a manager.
Yeah,
he's benefited from some decent rosters. I think St. Louis historically has had very good rosters. San Diego recently has had good rosters. I don't think he's the only manager that would have decent records with the Padres, but to his credit, he's kept them afloat for 2 years, which is hard to do in San Diego, man. There have been some bad years recently, 2021 and 2023. But yeah, some of it is just, I think now is the time of the year where you've gotten past the trade deadline. The whole point of the trade deadline was to bolster your lineup and to add Mason Miller, which is terrific. lean in to your improved lineup. Don't have guys like Ryan O'Hearn on the bench when Ryan O'Hearn actually has hit left-handed pitching. Don't have players like Gavin Sheets on the bench, right? Like, play your best lineup. And if you go down, you go down.
Right.
But at least we don't say, well, they batted Jose Iglesias all postseason. Like, go down with your best lineup. And if it happens, such is life.
Mm-hmm. But Schilt, he can't get out of his own way at times.
Do you think, like you said it to me, now I'll ask it back to you. Do you think in the postseason he will have the ability to start Jose Iglesias over, whomever, Jake Cronenworth? He'll have the opportunity to start Luis Ariz against a tough lefty, even if he's got a sub 600 OPS against lefties?
Whose decision was it last year to have C start on 3 days rest?
I'm hard pressed to believe that was Mike Schilt. It was like, guys, I talked to him. I would think that's like a full organization decision.
Yeah, I think it's going to be organizational decisions in the postseason. At least I hope so. I hope that's the case. Because I don't want Mike Schilt making decisions with full authority here.
Right.
I just don't. Now, the Jose Iglesias thing in the postseason, are we just thinking that Xander's not going to be back then? Because that's the only way that Jose Iglesias should see the field.
Isn't he in a boot?
He is in a boot.
And so, I mean, I get it. He wants to come back. Hopefully he will. I mean, the season ends in 20 days. So, I mean, you go from boot to out there in 20 days. That sounds great. I hope that happens. I mean, I'm sure it's their hope and expectation, but he broke his, what did he break?
His foot.
He broke his foot.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't scream like, hey, you're going to go hit 415 this postseason.
And when he gets back, how's he going to look?
Right. Exactly. That's the point. That's the point.
But the loss of Xander, even though at times it's like, wait, Xander's on this team? Because you just forget about him because he's just forgettable. He brought the versatility to this team where you could make sure you have your best optimal lineup, or at least have a good lineup with at least a player on the bench. And then you could work around that. Now it's like they're forced to put in one of their players off the bench that is a black hole in the lineup. And then you're kind of working around some things. And it's just, they're a better team with Xander on it than off it, is what I'm saying. Even though Xander is, whatever.
And it's kind of been a blah year. I mean, we got into the particulars of it, and I'm happy. Me personally, I was a big defender of his for 6 weeks, maybe more. But I'll be to be fair, the year has only been at best average. Truthfully, it's been below average. If you looked at the entirety of Xander's year, he's been better since his first 2 months were awful. I mean, it looked like the wheels had fully fallen off and they were going to have a decision to make this offseason. That's no longer the case, thankfully, on Xander Bogaerts. But you look at the totality of his season, and it's been fine, but it hasn't been anything to really write home about. But is it a better option than Jose Iglesias?
100%.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's won in the postseason. Whatever it means. I get it. He's been here before in the postseason, too. It's not like he's been carrying the Padres to a World Series, but I don't know. It has some value, I'd like to think.
How can something be a fluid situation with 19 games remaining?
I don't understand any fluidity to it. Jake Cronenworth is a career middle infielder.
And it's not like this would be giving into a fan base that wants a fan favorite out there every single day when he's hitting 150. This is giving into the best lineup that you have. Plain and simple. He's just as stubborn as it gets.
Yeah, I'm trying to use an analogy in another. It's kind of a baseball conversation, I guess, putting your best lineup out there. Like in other sports, do you choose defense over offense? By and large. For a possession, I get it. Hey, I don't want my 5'11" point guard out there. I'd rather go 6'2" because I don't want this dude getting a shot off over my 5'11" point guard. Okay.
Well, the Aztecs basketball team is a perfect example of sometimes they choose defense over offense.
They choose defense over offense. You're saying just in general?
Well, they are.
Well, they're defense first.
They're defense first. They're defensive minded team.
Yeah, or shoot. I mean, look at Brady and Rocky with the football.
Yep.
And so it's fair.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, again, what the Padres are trying to do to me is very 1988-esque. Or it's not even the right year. It's actually more 82-esque, where pitching was more dominant. There were less home runs in the sport. You would like rely more heavily on your pitching staff. I just think the sport is so predicated on offense, but not the Padres. I mean, that's not how they want to play. They're predicated on like their bullpen.
Look, the second you saw Jake Cronenworth at shortstop yesterday make that play, sorry,
all bets were off on like why you weren't.
Yeah, you can't go out there and tell me that Jake Cronenworth can't handle his own at shortstop. Give me a break. Give me a break. And Luis Arise, I know he's not played much second base this year, but look over his career, played a lot of second base. Do you think he can go and play second base for a little while?
Mason McCoy, their defensive specialist, committed 2 errors in one game.
Yeah. So
that's why you don't start defense over offense.
No,
these things happen.
You don't play Mason McCoy. Jose Iglesias is out there because there's a lefty on the mound. Okay.
Yep.
But again, tomorrow's the big like, all right, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna succumb to Mike Schilt and his defensive minded first attitude? Or is the team and the organization gonna tell Mike Schilt, you're not doing this, Mike. You're putting the best lineup out there. And is he gonna say, okay, I give in, which he gave in on Sunday? We'll see. Because tomorrow, if Jake Cronenworth's not at shortstop against a right-handed pitcher, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you did bring up a good point on, again, my analogy probably didn't work because it's more of a baseball specific conversation, but you're right. I mean, San Diego State basketball has gotten to a national championship game relying heavily on defense, or Aztec football has won 10 games relying heavily on their defense. But I think it's I guess this is a different conversation that we're having.
Look, for some players, defensively, you're never going to worry about it, even if they're not good, because offensively they bring so much to the table.
The day, yep.
And perfect example of that is Juan Soto. Juan Soto is one of the best offensive players in baseball.
Absolutely.
But he is below average outfielder and not good at all. But the proof's in the pudding. And when you have a guy that's that good offensively, you put him in the lineup. Now, again, it's a different conversation because Jake's not even close to the same conversation offensively as Juan Soto. But when you compare Jake to your other options, Jake feels like Juan Soto compared to
great point.
The Mason McCoys of the world and the Jose Iglesias of the world.
It's like going to get Freddie Fermin. I get it. Is he Pudge? Maybe not, but is he an upgrade over what you had? Yeah, he's proved to be an upgrade over what they had. All right, we do actually have an update on Xander Bogaerts. We'll share with you on the other side. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us at 5 p.m. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim. Kevin AC coming up at 5 p.m. Andy Halbrin writes this, Jim. Xander Bogaerts was in the clubhouse today without a walking boot. So that changed the conversation.
Everything's great.
Yeah, he said he's walking fine, but no running or anything like that yet. He's dependent on doing imaging each week and waiting for doctor clearance. Still optimistic he'll be back before the end of the regular season. # Padres.
Okay. Everything's fine.
So, but one thing, the update though is I'm like, well, he's in a walking boot. That to me sounds like there's still a lot of time, but I guess he's actually not in a walking boot. So maybe there's some level of progress that's being made.
Yeah.
It has not been long since he went on the IL.
Couple weeks.
2 weeks in a walking boot. That was it.
Well, hopefully he's a fast healer.
Right. It's true.
I think they can get over the hump of the loss of Xander. But how they get over the hump is by just putting your best guys out there. It won't feel like that big of a loss if you have a lineup like you had yesterday for majority of the games going forward.
Right.
But it will feel like a loss if going forward we see Mason McCoy and Jose Iglesias out there for a majority of these games. So that's where we're at right now. Is the loss of Xander hurts you if you decide to put Jose Iglesias and Mason McCoy at short.
Let me ask you this, because I got pushback, let's say, on social media saying, hey, lineup isn't only about offense. Come on, Arise can't play second.
Did he not play second on Sunday?
No, I mean, not can't, but can't defend his position well enough to routinely play second base. He's such a liability at second base that you almost have to play defense over offense because alternatively, he's too much of a liability. Agree or disagree? I disagree. I mean, I've watched him play second base here in San Diego. I was told the metrics support him being a bad first baseman defensively, yet they throw him out there every single day at first.
Yeah, I disagree.
The metrics support him being a bad defensive first baseman. He plays every day at first. So, I mean, the metrics would tell you he's a bad defensive second baseman. Guess what? I've watched him play second in the Padres uniform. It hasn't been that bad to me. Has it been egregious watching Luis Arise at any point defensively?
No.
No, is he the best? No, he's not the biggest. He doesn't cover the most ground. He's not fleet of foot.
No, but he's
fine.
He makes the basic plays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I just think it's way overblown. You're not putting a bunch of Juan Sotos out there, or you're not putting out, you're not saying, hey, Will Myers, can you go play second base?
Right.
And by the way, this team put Will Myers at third base before. They had Eric Hosmer at first base forever. Come on,
Jackson
guys.
Merrill's raised his hand I'll play short. The point is they're all good at. They've all done this for their lives. A lot of them have played these positions professionally, if not in the major leagues, like Luis Arise.
Luis Arise came up as second baseman.
Correct. How many career games does he have at second? Hundreds.
I'm going to actually look right now.
It's a big number. It's a big number. Now they've shied away from it. The metrics would support them shying away from it. That's fine. And they've had better options in the middle of their infield. I completely get that. But not even in a pinch, I think you could go with it. Is it your best defensive lineup? No, but I still think you could get by with it. How many career games does he have?
I don't know the career games, but if I'm just looking at how many games he's played at second base since 2019, it's a lot. 2019, he played 49 games at second. 2020, he played 31 games. 2021, he played 48 games. 2022, 60.
I have the answer.
Played 134 games at second base in 2023.
It's 308. 308 career starts. Can't play second?
He can play second.
308 career starts in the major leagues. They've put guys at positions they've never played professionally before.
He can play second base.
That's my thing.
It's not a huge ask. And by the way, Jake, he's played less games at shortstop than obviously Arise at second base. But still, 64 games in his career at short.
By the way, this is a long conversation because we have a 4-hour radio show. Xander, based on what Xander's saying,
Xander played 0 games at second base in his career, and he played second base last year.
Exactly.
Jackson Merrill played 0 career games in center field.
He's in center. Tatis Jr. had never professionally played in right field at any level. He's in right field.
He's in right field.
But my point is, we're making a lot out of something that is rectified when Xander Bogaerts returns.
Right. Or is not even a conversation if they just win games.
Correct.
So if they just win a bunch of games,
we won't be talking about it.
You can have Manny hit ninth. I don't care. Just as long as you win.
That's exactly right too.
So
that's exactly right.
Go out and win games. It only is magnified when
you don't score.
Here's the two things when it's magnified. When you don't score, you lose, and you lose games. That's one. And two, when Mike Schilt loses his mind over a question about their lineup.
Yeah, it's at least a fair. That's a great point. It's one thing for me and Jim to be like, this is easy, this is definitive. They should do it. Again, we're not paid. We don't get hired or fired based on these decisions. It's very easy for me to say it.
Yeah.
But it's a completely fair question. Okay, we're being a little more strong with it. Just do this. But why can't a reporter? Why can't someone follow up and be like, well, to be clear, are we going to expect to see more of Jake Cronenworth at short? You're asking a question based on something that we saw with our own two eyes yesterday. You wrote the lineup yesterday, Mike, that included Jake Cronenworth at short. Is it that unfair of a question to ask if we'll see more of Jake at short?
According to Mike Schilt, it is. According to Mike Schilt, it's not a easy question for him to answer. I do also think it's so ingrained in his mind that he can't give up any type of, I guess, inner thinking inside the organization to the public and to the media and to the fan base, because of he thinks it's this competitive disadvantage that he would be laying out there on the table, that the other team is going to listen to his pregame and postgame comments and be like, ooh, they're going to potentially start Jake Cronenworth at shortstop tomorrow, and somehow that's going to give us a competitive advantage.
Right.
We're just going to make sure we hit as many balls as short as possible because the guy hasn't played shortstop that much in his career.
It
doesn't work like that.
But I honestly, today's question is probably a bigger question. Would you start Luis Ariz against a left-handed pitcher as opposed to Ryan O'Hearn? You know what I mean? Today isn't even about what we've been talking about.
Right.
Facing a left-handed starter.
Yeah.
Today is more, again, to your point, everything is quelled by winning. They won the last 2 days. Everything's great. They win the next 2 days against the Reds. Things are even better.
Right.
If they lose the next 2 days against the Reds, guess what? People are going to be asking the same darn questions.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Yep. And if Jose Iglesias continues to go 0 for every single night when he's out there, and if Mason McCoy's out there and he continues to go 0 for and makes errors, and that's going to become a big talking point.
Yeah.
But if you winning cures a lot.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, all we're talking about is that, here's the truth. They're a good team that's on the verge of putting themselves in a very good spot. If we've been talking about this 5-2 homestand, if they close the way we've seen them play before, 14-3 start, 14-3 more recently. If they can close well, they can win this division.
Yep.
So we're talking about it because what we're talking about is a ton on the line. I think the difference between winning the division and not has a very either increases or decreases their chances of a run significantly. I think most people would agree with that. They're not a good road team. They're being, to ask to win 3 or 4 series without home field advantage is a lot harder than securing home field in a wild card round, for example. So I think it matters whether they win this division or not this year. I truly believe that. So
it's
big game.
It's crazy because the way that the Padres have been playing, this team does not feel like a team that's only one back.
Exactly.
They feel like a team that's completely out of it, but they're not. They're right in the thick of it. And I'm just, it's like the Dodgers. Can't even imagine being a Dodger fan today.
Yeah, based on
glad I'm not. Glad I hate the Dodgers, but they are such a disappointment right now from the standpoint of all of their moves they made in the offseason. At least most of their moves have all just been awful.
Flat. Yeah, well, also the point, in what year can you win 90 games? 90. They go 90 games. That's 12-7 finish. What year could you go 90-72? And you might win the division at 90-72 based on the Dodgers play.
That's why the winning the division and taking advantage of the Dodgers' poor play is so crucial, because you I bet you that the Dodgers, they're going to rebound. They're not going to have these 90 win seasons every single year from here on out. They're going to be better than this next year.
There's other years you win 90 games, you're 16 games behind them. And right now you could win 90 games and potentially win this division. We're going to catch up with Kevin Acee on the other side on the Padres, their health, lineup construction, and more. Our Padres insider joins us live. Kevin Acee coming up next.
This update's brought to you by Staples Stores. Padres and Reds start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Padres trail the Dodgers in the National League West by just a game. Dodgers start a 3-game series tonight at home against the Colorado Rockies. Good news for the Padres. Tomorrow, Michael King will make his return to the rotation, returning from the IL. And tonight, Monday Night Football finishes up week 1 of the NFL season. Vikings and Bears kick off in Chicago. 5:20 is when the game will get underway. This is your savings tip of the summer. Shop Staples for school supplies as low as 25 cents, plus more great deals for teachers and students on top brands and trending styles. Kind of makes me wish I was in school again. Staples, that was easy.
All right, final hour, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 as the Padres get ready for the Cincinnati Reds. Game 1 of a 3-game series, the first of 7 consecutive home games for San Diego. And once again, joined by our Padres insider, Kevin Acey. Now, let me be clear here. I missed Friday's show. Kevin, were you sick? You were on the show, but you weren't in Colorado, right? How are you feeling?
Good planning by me, because that was previously planned. I only do Colorado once a year. I won't continue to go off on what a horrible place that is. But that was coincidental that I also, needed some antibiotics, and I'm good to go for the stretch run.
Okay, sound good. Well, listen, Padres are dealing with injuries. We don't need you going on the IL right now.
No, we don't.
That's the last thing we need.
No, not with Michael King coming back. I mean, what kind of timing would that be?
Exactly.
The awful timing.
So you reported on this earlier today that King will, in fact, start tomorrow, Tuesday, in game 2 of this 3-game series. He's in line to hopefully make 4 starts for them in the regular season. Any thoughts on what's realistic here? Is the expectation that he is the pitcher we saw last October when we get to this October?
No, I think he's coming back against a decent team to come back against. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, if you're looking longer term, I think it's realistic to think that Michael King, by his 5th start, could give you 6 innings and certainly could give you 5, which you are hoping to get out of your starters in the postseason. I'm not saying, hey, every start in the postseason only needs to be 5 innings. No, but if that's what Michael King can give you, and there are 5 innings where he gives up a run or 2, I absolutely think that there's time for Michael King to be that. But these next 4 starts, anyway, tomorrow, will be sort of what tells us, okay, is he getting those, just awful swings routinely like he used to, missing bats, the way he was at least at the start of the season, and maybe even how he was last season. We're going to find out.
Is he fully healthy, or are we at his point of the season? It's hey, we need you to go out there, or at least there's time running out here. If you're going to make any type of impact, we need you to ramp up now instead of trying to get fully healthy here. It might be too late. What's the status of his health that you've heard of?
I got kind of alluded to Friday. I've been a little confused by what's the absolute reality. What can I come on the radio and feel 100% confident I'm giving you the real dope on? But the way that I'm understanding it is, yes, he's fully healthy. They wanted some extra time, if you want to call it extra, because Michael was pushing to be back in Colorado, to let him go and stretch out to 70 pitches or whatever it was, 5 innings, get some comebackers off the mound, cover first base, that sort of thing to make sure that, okay, not only were the 5 innings strong, he was able to do everything, and then he recovered well. So my understanding is that he's fully healthy. Now, is he at a point where, okay, this is start number 1 and next is start number 2 and start number 3, we're okay, we're not going to be surprised if we see a quality start, and start number 4 or 5 and so on. But that's what I believe is the only thing remaining to be seen.
Kevin Acey with us right now, our Padres insider. Again, Padres Reds game 1 coming up at 6:40. I know there's been some reporting here on Xander Bogaerts. Is there a level of optimism that Bogaerts is able to return in the regular season? Because now we're starting to count some days. I mean, the regular season ends in in 20 days. Is it realistic he returns in the regular season?
Well, not surprisingly, he said so today. I don't have clarity on that in terms of, like, is that a real thing? They're still saying yes, but I don't know. I don't have clarity on whether that's like a real thing. And when I say they're saying yes, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean they were lying. They believe it's possible. There has not been, as far as I know, repeat imaging. That was, what I got, but that they basically are at the point where they need to do that here soon to see what the level of healing is to know. But I mean, look, they're going to go about what they're going to go about with, and I'm sure we'll get to it about who's going to play shortstop. They're going to go about it until Xander is ready to come back, and there is high optimism that will be in the postseason.
All right, we'll get to it. The shortstop question. Last Tuesday, post game, Schilt said that he wouldn't put Cronenworth at short unless it was a situation where they were have to go for it. When they were trailing, he said he wouldn't do it. Defense, he kept praising, or not praising, but just like the importance of defense, right? And then just 4 days later, Cronenworth is your starting shortstop. Whose call was that? Was it Schilt's call? And do you expect them to do it again in the future?
There's always input. He wasn't told to do it. Schilt does cover himself by saying these situations are fluid. Like I told you, I guess when I said I didn't see him doing it, also, like I thought he was telling the truth, is I didn't factor in the whole 0 runs on Friday in Coors Field kind of thing, right? Like that there was a situation in which it made sense to Schilt. It might make sense to many of the rest of us that he would do that more often anyway when it wasn't Coors Field. Like, let's say tomorrow night, right? Like, I still think it's a question as to whether he'll do it tomorrow night when they're facing a righty, because it is, I haven't looked to see what the type of pitcher it is. But like Michael King shouldn't be giving up a lot of, I just don't think that, I just don't think that Mike's going to do it because it's Petco Park. I just don't. I don't think that should be a factor. That's just my opinion, though. I mean, you guys have yours. But he really believes, and it's hard to, the guy, they're still on pace for whatever it is. I don't even know. Is it 88 wins now? What are they on pace for? Because of how Mike Schilt has constructed this, and he doubled down. If you read in between the lines with Mike, he said today, during that bad stretch, we weren't playing very good defense. So I want to make sure we're shoring up the defense. So it's like, oh, okay. I mean, like Mike is adding to his commitment to defense.
But hold on there. And this has nothing to do with you. And I heard the same thing. We played it. I mean, is it fair for him, in your opinion, to say something like that when during their bad stretch they weren't playing good defense, but Nestor Cortez was allowing 4 home runs in an outing, or they trailed 4-0 in the first inning, allowing multiple home runs from multiple starters? Like, I don't care what your defense is. Your pitching wasn't good enough that the defense was even applicable.
Like every ball was going to shortstop.
Yeah. Like, would you agree with that? Like, was it really on the defense or was it on the pitching?
I would say this. I would say this because yes, you're right. I would say this in his defense where I can go, okay, I at least need to look at it, right? Mm-hmm. I can think of 3 games where like Dylan Cease shouldn't have allowed 2 runs, but he did, right? Because of a Cron. Was it an Iglesias? Oh my gosh. It was the Wizard himself. It was an Iglesias play. There was one in Seattle because of a Manny play who was it? Darvish got in trouble because of it. And then there was another one because of a Cronenworth play.
But that's the point.
If they had won 3 more, I'm not saying they would have won, because let's just say they had, how would we have looked at that stretch? I don't know. But no, I would tend to agree with you. Look, at this point with this offense, until you show me it ain't going to work, I'm going with Cronenworth at shortstop. I wasn't there at first because, as big a fan as I am of him, I don't know that that's great defense, but is it really that bad that he shouldn't be in there? I don't think so. But again, I'm also, as much as he drives me nuts, I'm going to defend Mike Schilt's knowledge, or at least kind of accept it in most instances.
And listen, I respect that. And I think it's you and I are we're kind of preaching to choir here. But what you just said about the poor defense, and I agree, the irony there is that's why it's hard to lean in on defense, because even good defensive players can make critical mistakes, whether it's just a routine ball to Jake Cronenworth, a double play ball. He boots twice in 2 weeks, or Jose Iglesias doesn't make a play, or Manny Machado, right? The minister of defense doesn't make a play. That's why when you're relying on defense over offense, I don't know. It seems like a formula that might be destined not to necessarily work for the Padres. I guess I'm taking you here. Now today, Arise doesn't start Friday against a lefty. They get shut out in Colorado. Tonight against a left-handed starter, Arise back in there as opposed to O'Hearn. Is that another one of those things where they'll figure it out? It's fluid, depending on who they're facing, where they're playing, and how the team's playing.
Yeah, it is. And I'm not exactly sure why this decision, though it is kind of what I expected. Hasn't O'Hearn mostly been the guy out against lefties? So I guess that's what I expected, that it would be back to being like this. But I couldn't tell you exactly why. Is there something about Lodolo that made it that way? I just don't know. I think we all got to understand at this point how much he values Luis Ariza's at-bats and the fact that he can get hits the way that he can sometimes. But yes, it is an example of that.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. For everything that Mike Schilt believes in, and you have other people behind the scenes that I'm sure are giving their input as well. Is Mike easy to deal with, like behind closed doors with maybe people that are giving him input, or it feels like kind of Mike Schilt is putting his foot down on some stuff and people might be maybe not, agreeing with him here on some of the moves he makes?
Dave, I'm going to start out by answering a question with a question. How easy was Bob Melvin to deal with for AJ Preller and company? So like if Mike is getting pushback, is my point, like he's not the only one, right? And I honestly believe that is a healthy organization, or at least that's the hallmark of a healthy organization, is a back and forth that can happen. Now, as we all know, sometimes that grows ugly and grows toxic, and people don't like it either way. So, it's not there, right? It's not there for this team now. Certainly, Mike Schilt is given the latitude, as every one of AJ Preller's managers have been, and increasingly so, I believe, because AJ has evolved, is given latitude to do what he wants. Now, he is definitely inundated with conversation/advice on a daily, bi-daily, tri-daily basis. There is a lot of talking that goes on in this organization.
I want to get back to Manny for one moment, because Manny had a big swing. Okay. It was yesterday, right? He homered yesterday. He had 2 hits yesterday. But you look at what he's done here over the last month plus, right? Since August 1st, he still has it's crazy. He's got a sub 600 OPS since August 1st, even with what he's done in September. Is there a belief he actually, I thought earlier in September, like, okay, he's put together a couple of games. He's only got 4 hits, I think, in September or something like that. Is a corner being turned here, or what's played out with Manny now over an extended period of time, the last 35 games?
Then from everything I've seen and talked to people about, it's been the weirdest slump because he's not doing the stuff he normally does. He's simply missing pitches. He's not seeing the ball well. Other people go through it, so you go, oh, okay, yeah, it'll be fine. To me, you're like, Manny doesn't go through that. Like when he's not seeing the ball well, it manifests itself in him chasing bad pitches, and that has not been the hallmark of this slump. It has been missing pitches he should punish. And I think that's been actually a hallmark of this Padres offense this year, and I don't know what that is. I don't know that anyone has a real answer for it. So I don't have an answer for you about whether Manny's going to turn a corner. And every time they ask that I don't have an answer, I am so tempted to say, I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, I respect the question, but I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, I'm not looking for it. It's hard. It's not even a question to answer.
Kevin,
Jim got it.
I got
it.
You didn't get it?
I missed it.
It was a Schilt.
I love that. It's a fluid situation.
It's a fluid situation.
I respect that. I respect it. Kevin, appreciate it. We'll do it again Wednesday. What time's the game on Wednesday? It's a night game, isn't it?
It's a night.
5:40.
5:40. All right, so we'll do it pregame on Wednesday. Appreciate you doing it, Kevin, as always.
Right on. See you.
All right, great stuff from our Padres insider, Kevin AC, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. The Players Place. Was that Kevin or was it Mike Schilt? All right. If you missed John Sadak, the TV voice of the Reds, you'll hear him coming up at 5:30. Stay with us. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760.
I feel like Kevin is he's getting maybe a little fed up at times with Schulte there.
When I getting fed up at us for asking.
Well, I mean, one, he's trying to impersonate Mike Schulte. Two, he's like, I can't freaking stand the guy when he does that. You didn't hear that part?
No, I know. I mean, I heard it.
It's just interesting.
It is interesting. San Diego Sports 760 congratulates all of our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher powered by Donors Choose. There's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference, and maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. But he wasn't as willing to, maybe he was, but like we're willing to be like the thing with Cronenworth or the defense over offense. And then he brings up the point, like, yeah, the games they've lost in like defense over offense because some of their better defenders have made miscues.
Yeah. So you can't use that as an excuse.
Right.
It's easily disproven why. And I just think that he, and by he, I mean Mike Schulte, is just making stuff up just to like continue to go down the path of defense, defense, defense.
Do you think it's because he's feeling the pressure of the trade deadline, which was a significant one for the organization? The fact that the door is open on a division, like, is he feeling the pressure of, I don't even know what it is. Is it of expectation, organizational expectation? And like, yo, you gotta finish this thing off still.
Well, if they don't win the division, I don't think that's going to be this huge like downer. I mean, making the postseason is the goal. Now, if they had a division lead here in the next week or two, and then they blew it down the stretch, that could impact their chances in the postseason just because, you know, the morale of the team's like, oh, we're winning the division, and all of a sudden you're not, and you're a 5 seed or you're a 6 seed, you know, traveling.
That's a
wild card, right?
And that's our point. That's the big swing.
It's a massive.
Like, what do you think the fan base will think if at the end of the year they go 90-72? That's a decent enough finish. They go 12-7 down the stretch, 91, let's say, 13-6, but they finish in a tie, which means they don't win the division. Like, what are people gonna? There's gonna be a lot of people, I think, bummed out by that. Doesn't mean they can't win.
I agree.
You know,
I agree, but it's more or less what they do in the postseason than anything.
Oh, well, 1,000%.
You know, the 2 seed I don't think is even a possibility anymore.
Was it 4.5 or 5 games behind Philadelphia?
The 1 seed is completely out of reach.
Like, yeah, literally.
So it's looking like the likely scenario is you're playing on wild card, then the wild card round.
Sure.
If they had a chance at a 2, or they even had the 2 and they blew that, so they would have blown a first round bye and then obviously home field in the division round. Like, okay. That's
different.
That's pretty big. Just like what happened with the Mets in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
They blew a chance to get a first round bye, and instead they have to host a wild card series against the Padres.
Right.
And they never got to celebrate their making the postseason. That's what I don't want to happen with the Padres. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to celebrate. They're going to get in. Just depends on what seed they get.
Right.
But hey, man, if you get swept by the Reds here at Petco, they are.
Yeah, that's
right
one thing you can't do.
You can't do that.
That's a good point. We haven't even touched on that today.
Yeah.
We haven't even laid that out as a possibility.
But that's also the extreme of the extreme.
Reds have not been a good road team.
Correct.
They've not been good in general recently. They've been okay. They just beat the Mets back-to-back games at home. But you're right. The one thing that throws a wrench into everything is the Reds sweeping a series here at Petco Park. Let's go to the phones. We're going to hear from the TV voice of the Reds coming up, John Sadak. But Dave wants to weigh in. 877-767-4760. Dave, you're back with us here on John and Jim. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, thanks again, guys.
Yeah.
Listening to Mike, I mean, my God, can you imagine what he is going to go through if the Padres don't re-sign Luis Ariz next year? I mean, my goodness, he's going to need PTSD counseling the way this thing is going. But, he has a losing record in the playoffs. We know that. That's a fact. He doesn't contingency manage as well as he probably could or should. And a lot of that is he gets stuck in these managerial beliefs of his. And I think that at the end of the day, this is why he has such a hard time when the media presses him, because the media makes too much sense, and Mike can't handle that. One quick thing, I want to make a correction. If I got a quick second here.
Yeah, what do you got?
Talked last week to you guys about Ruben Niebla and Ruben and how the pitching staff, starting pitching, is going. I said, and I think you guys misinterpreted, Ruben Niebla is considered one of the best, if not the best, pitching coaches in the game. And my point is, if Ruben, as good as he is, as great as he is, can't get these guys straightened out, my intent is, and what I said is, that's an indictment on the lack of starting talent, not Ruben.
Right.
Ruben is by far the best. I wanted to correct that.
All right. No, that's good stuff, Dave. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, that's right. It's always hard with the coaches to put it there, especially coaches with high reputations.
Right.
Like Ruben, the proof is there. I put it more on Cease's year isn't last year. Darvish's year isn't 2 years ago.
Yeah, he can't help that Michael King is injured.
Michael King's been hurt. It's a great point.
He slept wrong. Like, is that Ruben Niebla's fault?
Hey, before you go to sleep tonight, let me check out your pillow combo.
Right. Yeah, make sure you're not sleeping on that shoulder there, buddy.
Yeah, using like down comforter or down pillows or
down pillows.
I mean, you can't do that. Monday Night Football underway. It's JJ McCarthy's debut. What a debut it's been. 3 and out.
Good start.
Sacked 1 time. Bears driving at Soldier Field early on, trying to take an early lead against their rival, the Vikings.
Ben Johnson, amazing.
That's right. Ben Johnson is first game as a head coach.
Yep.
That's right.
The hot guy, as Marty would say.
I was going to say like the offensive wizard, right?
A wizard's probably
maybe. I mean, Detroit's offense was pretty good.
They were. They were the offensive innovator.
Yeah.
There we go.
I would say this too with Chicago, and Brent knows it better than me. It's one thing to look a certain way when it's September like 5th and 68 out. It's another thing to look a certain way when it's like outdoors and it's November.
Right, exactly.
But no, it's a big game. I mean, Williams, McCarthy, we laid it out earlier.
Yep.
I mean, 2 guys in the same draft class.
You forget about that because McCarthy didn't play.
Didn't play at all. I mean, McCarthy hasn't played since Michigan. It's been close to 2 years now. All right, if you missed John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds, you're going to hear a conversation on the other side. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Rapid Radios. Padres and Reds start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Good news for the Padres is Michael King. He is returning to the starting rotation off the IL tomorrow night. And Monday Night Football underway in Chicago. Bears with an early 7-0 lead over the Vikings. 7:04 left in the first quarter there. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
All right, John and Jim with Jim's Back Page coming up in about 15 minutes. But if you missed it earlier, we had the TV voice of the Reds with us, John Sadak. Of course, the Reds are in town. They'll play game one of this 3-game series coming up at 6:40. We started the conversation by asking if the clubhouse believes the Reds can still get into the postseason.
Yes, I very much think so, and appreciate you having me. I think the biggest things are some of their regulars have found roles, either have refound themselves or have been adding in a different way. TJ Friedl got a day off near the tail end of last road trip in LA against the Dodgers and has had a big bump. He's now been on base in 17 straight. He's working a lot of walks in that time. It's a great feel for the zone. And the second position in the order has not been very productive for the Reds on the year. They had two main men, both Matt McLean and Santiago Espinal, there for stretches of time at the start of the year. But Noelvi Marte, who they moved from third base to right field in the last month plus, is a different hitter playing right field. And more recently, that's also meant a shift into the second position that provides protection for Ellie De La Cruz, that is able to capitalize upon Friedl being on base. He's hitting .315 in his last 26 games, driving in runs, showing pop. Offense has been the inconsistency of this club. The starting pitching has been the bedrock, but there are glimpses of offense, and the Mets series showed that.
Being 4 games back of a playoff spot, Reds have kind of been hanging around, not be able to, get over that hump of late, but still 4 games back. Anything can happen in the final 2.5 weeks here, or 3 weeks, of the season. Where's the head at of the fan of the Reds as far as their chances to make a legitimate push here for a wild card spot? Or do you think do fans think it's too far out of reach?
I think it depends upon what fan you talk to. I assume that's the case with most fan bases, but the Reds have not had much in the way of postseason appearances, much less success. I mean, they haven't won a playoff series since the 90s. The Bengals have, yes, made a Super Bowl run, but went through years of being awful in the same town as well, or just falling short during a lot of the 2010 range. I think it's a mix. I think there are some who are kind of waiting for Lucy to pull the football, but there are some who really believe in this young core. And at some point, the team, the players have to prove it, right? It's something to win over the vast majority of those fans. They want it to happen. Do they think it will happen? The schedule is hard. I mean, if you're honestly looking at what the remaining slate is, they have the second hardest strength of schedule left on the slate in terms of win percentage of the opponents. But the good news about that is they have games head-to-head with some of the teams they're chasing. Just had one against the Mets, took the season series from them, so they would have the tiebreak if it came down to that. And they already took one series from San Diego. Now they get the Padres head-to-head.
John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds, with us right now on John and Jim. Game 1 at Petco coming up at 6:40. The starting pitching, the Reds are going to, have this series, whether it's Lodolo tonight, Littell tomorrow. Andrew Abbott's been obviously awesome on Wednesday. How is the starting pitching fared here late, specifically against these three? Because I just look on paper and it looks like these three have given the Reds a lot of opportunities here.
I would generally say yes. Lodolo, when he's on, can be a real challenge. The breaking ball is excellent. His changeup has gone to another level. That's a commonality between him and Abbott, both lefties that have sensational changeups that rate among the best in baseball this year. And those are newer adds used to that level in terms of frequency and that amount of success in terms of limiting contact and damage. Lodolo battled a blister issue, something that's plagued him multiple times in his career. He is a Southern California guy. He is still a little bit of an unknown to see exactly what's happening coming back from the blister. I think there's a lot of reason for optimism. I know he'll be excited to pitch in California again. Zach Littell has been very up and down. His split is his best pitch. When it's on, it is just about unhittable. And the way you know it's on is it dives straight down. I mean, it tunnels right into the earth. If it has more horizontal break or even worse hangs, then he can have a rough go. And we've seen extremes in recent starts for him where he's been roughed up for a couple of innings and then set down 14 in a row, where he's had a brilliant start through 3 or 4 innings, facing the minimum, and then home runs can come. He has led the league most of the year in home runs allowed, but the vast majority of those have been solo shots. His command is a critical part of that because he probably will allow homers. Will there be bases empty? Will there be men on base? And with Abbott, there has to be some wonder if he's hit a fatigue wall. He's had a deserved all-star year, the best year of his career. He has spent most of the season as the Reds' ace. But we've seen more hiccups in the last month where the command has not quite been as fine. And in particular, with his changeup, that I think next to his fastball, I would argue, is his next most important pitch that he has to be able to command. Doesn't necessarily need to throw it for a strike. He needs it to look like a strike and just drop out of the zone. And the command has not quite been as fine, and I think teams have been far more patient. The walk numbers have gone up, and the ERA has climbed as well.
When you look at the Reds' road record, kind of similar to the Padres, where they play good baseball at home, but on the road, they aren't just they're a different team. What's it been like with the Reds this year? And recently, they had a 3-6 road trip, the last 9-game road trip that they had. What's it been recently with the Reds that they've struggled on the road? It seems.
Yeah, a lot of it has been run scoring. I mean, that's really what it's come down to, finding a consistent way to get runs. They lost 6 of 7 to close out that road trip. There have been some defensive letdowns. There have been particularly some errors late in games. Ellie De La Cruz has the most errors in baseball. He led the league last year. He's on pace to do that again. He made one in the 9th inning yesterday, but the Reds got a huge double play that he ignited, that he shoveled a tough ball to second base to kick off the 6-4-3 and ended and win the game to quell the threat. But that's been part of it. They've also had a hellacious time with the Padres on the road. They have lost 12 of 14 at Petco. And if you're looking at one team against one team, the most dominant run of any one team at home against another in the last 20 years is the Padres against the Reds.
Wow. That's fascinating.
That is,
you mentioned Ellie. I'll give you an example here locally. I mean, there's been a lot of criticism of Fernando Tatis Jr. Now he's up to 20 home runs, but he sat on like 16 or 17 for forever. And his OPS has sat around 800. We've seen him be like a 900 plus guy. Now, Ellie hasn't necessarily been a 900 plus guy, but I'm looking at his numbers, John, since August 1st. You know it better than I do. I just pulled it up on Baseball Reference. He's at 213. He's got a 562 OPS. His OPS has fallen well below 700. What have you seen from him here in 2025 and specifically over the last month or so?
He hasn't homered since the last day of July.
Wow.
He's had one in his last just over 60 games. He's had 2 different leg injuries that I think have had a big impact. We've asked him about it. You know, he's acknowledged them, but has said that the more recent one, he had a hamstring early. He's been dealing with a quadriceps injury for some time. That has been feeling better. And we have seen in spurts, we have seen doubles and triples. He had a bunch of triples on the last road trip, so he can run. And he is trying to steal in select spots. But I think he's multiple things. I think he's been caught in between. And what I mean by that is kind of anticipating what's coming, softer, hard, fastball, breaking stuff, change up, trying to protect a really big zone. I have to think fatigue is a factor. He's a very proud young man who wants desperately to play every single game. That's something he's vocalized from the moment he arrived in the big leagues. And I do think there's a cumulative effect to that. He's also 6'5 plus. He might be closer to 6'6. And to get ready at shortstop, you have to be squat and set on every single pitch. And I think that also takes its toll. You know, he's strong, but he's a wiry, strong young man. We did see an RBI double that gave the Reds the lead, the run that would prove the most decisive in the 6th inning yesterday. It was a good gap double that he got through the ball and drove. But I would also say that he probably gets pitched harder than anyone else on the team. Opposing pitchers know what he is capable of, and they are very careful with where they try to throw him and what they try to throw him. I would also say that his awareness of the strike zone, enhanced significantly by some offseason work he's done with the former Padre Juan Soto, has helped him a lot. He works a lot of deep counts. But I think it's a combination of all those things. I think the leg issue is bigger than we've been known so far. I also think that the pitching of the opponent is a big part of it. And I would add, I think lineup protection, because he's been in that third spot all year. And the second spot, until Marte really grabbed ownership of it in just the last 3 weeks, has kind of been a void. And so it's been a lot easier, I think, for opponents to game plan and often bring in lefties, turn them around, make them bat right-handed in bigger late game situations.
John, what do you make of the NL West race here? I mean, Padres, Dodgers separated by a game. Did you think it was going to be this close, this deep into September?
Yes, and chiefly because I have a lot of respect for and know the ability of the Padres. The Dodgers have had their own significant amount of injuries as well, and people whose opinions I respect that also cover games in the National League West. You know, when they saw the Padres in the early stage of the year, I was told in April, look out, the Padres are the best team in the National League West. This is the year they take down the Dodgers. So I lean on people that see teams far more often than I do. You know, we're kind of swooping in for single series here against the Padres, but people that see both clubs a lot, whose opinions I respect, told me months ago that yes, that it could be exactly like this.
Well, it could come down to the final couple of days in the NL West. The two teams separated by one game. We'll see if the Reds can make a late season push here over the final 19 games of the regular season. John Sadak, TV voice of the Reds. John, appreciate you doing it, man. Enjoy San Diego. I know it's tough with the weather, but try to enjoy it.
Have a good time.
I love your town. I never want to leave, ever.
Stick around. Stick around.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, John. All right, great stuff again with John Sadak. All right, so we're watching Bears-Vikings, and we've made some very strong statements already in the first quarter, me and Jim off air.
Yeah, so I think it's definitively the Bears are the best team in football.
This team's better than the 85 Bills or
and
Bears.
JJ McCarthy's a bust.
He looks awful. Now, it's only been 2 drives. But I've been impressed by the Bears. 7-0, late first quarter Vikings football. Like, if JJ McCarthy doesn't get a first down this drive, who's their backup?
Chase Daniels.
Oh, he's coming in.
I have no idea, but it could be a problem.
I'm kidding. All right, we'll get to Jim's back page on the other side. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim. 7-0 Bears after 1 Monday Night Football. We will be back tomorrow, by the way, at 2 p.m.
Yes, we will.
Full reaction tonight as well to Padres Reds, game 1 of that series on the wrap-up show. Will be on YouTube later tonight.
Yes, we will.
So, you know what? We kind of buried the lead today, didn't we? Kind of buried the lead a little bit with the lunch. The Sombrero Lunch Friday. I mean, here's the thing. We have you can use the talk back all week long because we're going to hook someone up with lunch this Friday. I want to mention that again. All right. John and Jim will bring you lunch from Sombrero this Friday. All you need to do, you can do it right now. Open the talkback mic. So search for San Diego Sports 760 in the iHeartRadio app. Click on the little red microphone icon. Tell us your name, where you work, and why we should bring you lunch. Simple as that. And Jim and I will come to your workplace on Friday with Sombrero Mexican food.
A Sombrero Mexican food platter? A platter of Sombrero's Mexican food.
Complimentary.
On us.
From us.
To your work.
I think it's pretty cool.
We get to have lunch with you. Lunch with John and Jim.
We're going to hang out and eat with you.
Sombreros.
We can talk whatever you want. You want to talk Padres? We're here for you.
You want to talk Aztecs?
Well, I'm here for
John's
you.
here for you.
You want to talk JJ McCarthy? We can do it.
You want to talk 49ers football? I got it.
Jim is there for it.
You want to get mad with me about 49ers football? Go right ahead.
Absolutely. So just enter right now. Open the talkback mic in the free iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Tell us your name, where you work, why we should bring you lunch. We're bringing someone, one of our listeners, free lunch for them and their work crew this Friday from Sombrero. And again, Sombrero Mexican food has been serving up San Diego style Mexican food for over 40 years. And you can check them out at sombreromex.com. That's sombreromex.com. All right, it's that time. Let's get to it.
All right, we'll get to Crumble in a moment.
Wow. You're not leading with Crumble?
No, I'll get to Crumble. Don't worry.
Breaking news story?
Not really, but September 13th, John, which is this week.
Yeah.
Is that Friday?
Saturday?
So the 8th is today.
9, 10, 11, the Saturday.
Saturday, September 13th, 7-Eleven. It's Bring Your Own Cup Day.
Okay.
All right. 7-Eleven is bringing back one of its most beloved traditions, Bring Your Own Cup Day, Saturday, September 13th. For one day only, Slurpee fans can bring a container of their choice and fill it up with their favorite icy for just $1.99.
When you say container of your choice, could I bring like a trash can?
No, you can't.
Not anymore.
Oh, it used to be, right?
Yes,
Brett?
you used to be able to
that's
do
what I thought.
that. They have restrictions on your quote container now.
That's what I
Yeah, you
thought.
can't bring like a giant tub and just fill it up with like icy for $1.99.
Right.
This year's Bring Your Own Cup celebration features the launch of 2 new Slurpee flavors.
And they are?
Fans can try the bold and tangy Powerade Extra Sour Grape Shocker or the Sweet Tart Nerds Strawberry Slurpee.
They both sound sweet.
I'm
And
just going with the classic Coke Slurpee.
Okay. What about just like blue? Is the blue and red?
I do like me some blue.
Right? What is that, like a raspberry?
It's like
I was gonna say, I
raspberry.
like how you guys are going full Kool-Aid with it, not even going flavors. Oh no, I like the red and the blue.
I like the blue and the yellow.
Blue, man.
Blue is
really
blue
good.
hits.
When you're a kid?
Blue hits, man.
Oh.
Blue hits.
So I can't go there with my trash, my recycle bin.
No, you cannot, John.
Okay.
No, you cannot. Getting to Crumble Cookie, because it
Okay.
is a Crumble Cookie Monday.
Sure.
Here are the Crumble Cookies of the week. There is also a secret menu item.
Crumble secret menu?
Mm-hmm.
What is it, like a burger?
No.
It's a cookie.
No. Here are the cookies. Cookies and cream cake featuring Oreos. By the way, did you know that right now in stores, because I saw this over the weekend, available is Oreo Reese's Cups cookies.
How? So it's okay.
It was on my back page like a month ago.
But show me. It's an Oreo cookie.
It's an Oreo cookie, and the filling.
In the middle is the Reese's filling.
The Reese's filling.
Oh, then we could just retire.
Also, I got to get them because they look amazing. Also, there's like little Oreo Reese's like cups.
Mini?
Like you know those like Reese cups?
The mini one.
The mini ones. It's like an Oreo Reese's.
Wow.
Cup.
I didn't know that.
So they're available right now. I saw them at Vaughn's.
Okay.
So go pick one up today and go pick
on
up.
my way.
Yeah, they look delicious. Back to crumble cookie. Confetti milkshake cookie.
Confetti milkshake cookie sounds good.
Yeah, I'm looking at the video here and they look
good.
delicious.
Mhm.
Yeah. A brownie batter cookie.
Always good. Can't go wrong.
Oh
Brownie
my
batter.
gosh. Pumpkin cake cookie. It is,
pumpkin.
we're getting close to
Pushing October.
October here.
Mhm.
A salted caramel cheesecake cookie. What?
Okay.
And then just a milk chocolate chip cookie.
Okay.
I don't know what the secret menu is though.
It's a secret.
Yeah.
I
They're not going to tell you.
I get that, but the secret, it says right here, this is the
clue.
It says the secret, which flavor you'll get each week. The secret menu is here.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there we go. I don't know. Why would they say it's secret menu
And
if
then
if they tell you what the menu is?
I got you. Yeah. I don't know.
Very weird. And that's it.
That's all you have?
That's all I have for today.
No, you only had two things.
Fine, you want me to have another one?
Yeah. Don't you have like a Justin Jefferson jersey sold for $29,000 at a Minneapolis convenience store? And it wasn't even real.
No.
You don't have that.
I don't have that, no.
Vikings on the board, Jim. JJ McCarthy leading them downfield. You know how he did it? A 50-yard pass interference call.
Oh, wow.
Very Aaron Rodgers of him.
Yeah, so pass interference and then a field goal.
Hey, man, when you're making your first start, you need to get points any way possible. If it's by penalties, so be it.
By the way, I didn't realize until they showed it during the first commercial break that Thursday night is Packers Commanders.
Yeah, pretty big game.
Like that's kind of a big deal for your first Thursday. Well,
that's an elite Thursday night match.
There have been some terrible Thursday games over the years. Like I was not expecting Packers Commanders week 2.
The emphasis is like, hey, we can't just make Thursday a throwaway.
You can't.
We can't have Jags Titans every Thursday night football.
Right. What was the game we started the show with? There were some bad games. What was the Dolphins game?
Oh, Dolphins Colts.
Dolphins Colts. Bad game. You know, you can't make that every.
I watched some of that game too. It was bad.
You're not a believer in Daniel Jones now in Indy?
I mean, I think some people probably are, truthfully. Yeah. Like Daniel Jones's parents.
If you're the Giants, you're just like, oh God, what did we do?
Probably not.
Well, just start Jackson
even
Dart,
just for this week, not for like by the end of the season. They
Dude,
won't
Giants,
be
Jets, every year. It's the same thing.
Yeah. At least the Jets were entertaining.
Yeah, but they always lose.
Right. But would you rather lose and be just an awful watch or lose and be super entertaining?
It's super entertaining, but to lose Aaron Rodgers if you're a Jets fan, the way the last couple of years have played out.
But the Giants, they scored the least amount of points in the entire league in week 1. We'll see what happens with the Vikings tonight. But
True.
How
many points did they score?
All they got to do is score more than 6 points.
Yes.
So,
but the Giants used to be a proud organization. The Jets have never been proud since Joe Namath.
Right.
I was gonna say Joe Namath.
Yeah, but I mean that's a long time. The Giants actually had Eli Manning. They won multiple Super Bowls.
I know.
And now the wheels have completely fallen
off. Yeah.
We'll see if the Padres can continue their win streak. They've won 2 consecutive games. John Sadek, who we had on, you heard it about 20 minutes ago, talked about the fact that the Padres have dominated the Reds in San Diego in recent history. They're 12-2, I think, in their last 14 games. Hopefully that continues.
Yeah, because some separation here from the Dodgers would be nice. Go Rockies tonight.
Yeah, Rockies, Dodgers.
Probably wishful thinking, but hey, because Max Muncy returns tonight for the Dodgers, and they've missed Max Muncy a lot.
Yeah, but the Rockies are hot. They've won 1 of their last 3.
That's good for the Rockies.
They're hot.
Yeah.
All right. Join us tonight for a wrap-up show following Padres and Reds. We're back tomorrow at 2 p.m. If you missed anything today, you can go to sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app or iTunes or TuneIn Radio or Spotify. If you're listening to us on a podcast, please leave a review as well. All right. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.